Hello, testing. You can hear me now. What a great start to the stream. OBS and Windows messing around with my settings. I absolutely love Windows 11. It's always messing around with my sound settings. Hello, welcome to the stream. What was I just saying? I have no idea. No one else knows because you couldn't hear me. I hope you're all having a great morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. And slowly, I am getting worse and worse at this streaming malarkey. It doesn't seem like I'm getting any better at it. But here we are still live and we are here. Today, I wanted to go over some comments that I've been getting on my channel. I wanted to discuss some of the thoughts and feelings that some of you have been leaving on my videos. And I wanted to go through some funny criticism comments. Some people just taking the piss out of me. Go through some of those comments and really talk about some of the serious stuff that people have been saying. Hello to everyone. Hello Mark. Hello Connor out on Twitch. Hello Swankzilla. Hello Sylvian. Nice to see you all here today. I hope you're all feeling good. The reason why I named this stream I Have No Purpose is because that was the theme of the first comment that stuck out to me. They had no purpose. And that was a comment that they had left on my video where I'm talking about I never wanted a job. So that was the first comment I wanted to discuss in today's stream. But before we get into that comment, I need to load up some Call of Duty because we all need that visual lubrication. That's what I like to call it. It's a funny term that I've given it, but when you're watching my videos, I see the COD footage as a visual aid. I use the word visual lubrication. It's helping you, it's something to look at while someone's talking. And I think it helps me focus on talking and think. Just having something on the screen to look at. So I'm loading up the game right now. So if my camera stutters or anything, it's because the game is loading. Hopefully the game's not too loud for you guys. Let me know how the sound levels are. Can you hear the menu as I move around? Did the camera change? There we go. Oh. I'm having a few technical difficulties over here. I had a bit of trouble getting my computer online today. My computer, every day that this computer exists, it becomes more and more unruly. Let's just see how that sounds. I don't know. We won't know. Let me know in the chat anyway if things are too quiet or too loud. So anyway, let's find a game. Let's get into a game. So for those of you who are always asking me, how are you playing World at War? I get so many comments on that every day. How are you playing World at War in 2025? And that question always confuses me. I'll show you right now. I click Find Game and I choose... See, these are low ping for me. So I think I want to join a server with low ping. And I'm going to go with this one. This is the one I was playing yesterday. Battery. It doesn't usually have the actual map that it says, which is kind of irritating, but it's that simple. I joined a server. Oh, I haven't played this map before. Sub pens. Here we go. How's the volume? If I shoot, can you still hear me, or is it a bit too loud? I'd love to get a bit of feedback on that just to make sure that everyone can hear okay and you're not just hearing the sound of bangs and explosions. I will shoot a few more, just let me know and then I'll get to your message and we'll start looking through these comments. Maybe a little bit lower. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Let's put it all just down to like a quarter. How's that? We've got half the volume that we had before. So you de-bloated your laptop installing another OS based on Windows to get better. I was getting tired of Windows updates. Yeah, my computer forced me to take a Windows update this morning. I was just about to leave the house. Don't know what that guy was doing. And then it was like, you can't restart. No, you can't shut down your computer. You have to restart. And I hate it when that's the case because now I have to wait around for my computer to restart before I can turn it off. That's never what I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. Got to get in the mindset of shooting. Just strictly in terms of the game. Hello, Cercio. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Just been out for a long walk to clear my head. And I came up with a video idea. I might just run this past you guys to see what you guys think. I was thinking I want to try and make a highly edited, scripted video in general. I've never been able to script for very long. The longest video that I've got that's fully scripted and with lots of editing is my second most watched video about gaming nostalgia, and that's 15 minutes. And I can't make a video longer than that. That took a lot of work. So I'd like to try my best to make a video that's longer as a bit of practice. And my idea was to do a video on the RTS genre. I don't know if many of you are even interested in the RTS genre, but I was thinking of coming at it at the angle of it's sort of a game that people my age would play. Perhaps you're my age. So maybe you're towards 30, above 30. That's the sort of age that people who liked RTS are these days. And it's sort of an old genre. It's a genre that is aging itself, aging alongside us, and perhaps become a bit of a relic of the past. And I wanted to use that as a lens to look at RTS and then go into full, probably too much detail, explaining the history of RTS, like a typical video essay, as a bit of practice for myself. Is that something that you guys would find very interesting to listen to, or perhaps not? It's not really... I know the channel's more focused on FPS games, if I'm honest. We're usually playing COD or something like that. But it's something that I've spent a lot of time playing myself. Loads of time on RTS games. It's something I love myself, so... you could take that bit out of context. I love myself. But anyway... who knows what would happen in clips. You could probably make a super cut of me saying stupid things to make me say anything you wanted. I'm not encouraging any of you to do that. If you talk about Z for PS1, I'm in. Not sure what that is. That's a game that you must have really liked on the PS1. Or are you pronouncing it Z? Because for me, that is Z. You used to play RTS games back in the day. That's exactly the feeling that I would be going for. You said the word back in the day. That's exactly... that whole genre is kind of a back in the day genre. It's not a genre that people really think of as a modern game. How can you not be burnt out playing World at War for such a long time? It's my casual go-to game where I'm like... The reason why I like it, particularly when I'm making these videos, is I don't have to think. If I'm playing a game where I have to think, some of you may have tuned in when I'm playing Warcraft 3 or something. I hardly say a word because I'm so focused on playing. Whereas this game, I don't have to think. I just look around, I shoot, I might miss, I might hit, but it doesn't matter. And that's why I like playing this game. It's kind of like an opportunity to shut my brain off. And these guys stop messing around on the stairs. And it's quite satisfying. I'll be honest, this game is very satisfying to... The gameplay is good. So it's an easy game to return to. That guy shot me in the back. But yeah, it runs very well. It's very responsive. And in some ways, you could argue old games are better. But that was my idea that I had today. An RTS in-depth discussion. I don't know how popular it would be. Probably not very popular. But who knows? I thought I'd best test the idea out with you guys since you're here listening to me right now. But yes, let's get into the topic of today's video. You may have joined just now and you've noticed that the stream is called I Have No Purpose. I had to actually look at what the stream was called there. I forgot for a second. I Have No Purpose. And that's because a lot of the comments I've been getting on my I Never Wanted a Job video was that they felt like they were struggling to find purpose in life. And I touched upon that in the video. And I talked about how I found some sort of purpose through what I'm doing now. And one of the comments in particular stuck out to me. So I'm going to read that out to you now. You get that same feeling with CS 1.6. When I think of CS Source, not 1.6, CS Source, I think about there's this custom map where I think it was Gun Game and it was on the Simpsons. It had the Simpsons map and then you just run at each other, shoot, see if you can level up your gun. You should try out Stalker Anomaly. It's mostly a sandbox game. There's a mode that turned it into a hybrid FPS. I actually still need to continue playing the first Stalker, which we started a couple days ago on stream. And I was enjoying that. Stalker is a pretty cool game, I must say. I need help processing old traumatic memories. What do you do in this scenario? What would I do? Honestly, I would probably see a therapist to help me unpack that. And if that's not something that you want to do, I would find someone who you can trust to talk to. And I'd just make space to think about it. That's a hard topic. That is a hard topic. It's like I'm still there. Yeah, so whenever you think about these scenarios, your brain can take you straight back there. If they're that strong, it might be a case... I think therapy might be the best way to go about it. But I would suggest, because I've been in therapy myself, I didn't do any online stuff. I never used BetterHelp. None of those sponsorships of people saying, use BetterHelp. No. I found someone in person. I looked online, I said, therapist near me. And I chose a person that seemed the most sort of... someone I felt like I could talk to. And I went with that. It was just a gut feeling response. I looked at the list of the people who were local. And I thought, you seem nice. I could talk to you. I will talk to you. And that's how I started. And that would be quite a lot. There's probably a lot to unpack there. I guess just talking about it to begin with. And allowing yourself to feel the feelings. And maybe just come to terms with you do feel this way about it. Perhaps you might have tried to block off these feelings. I don't know. I don't know without being you. But when I haven't had anything like traumatic. So I can't say what I would do in that position. But for things that I have had troubling in the past, it's just been what's helped me is talking about it. I keep imagining ideas of revenge. I have had things where I've been angry. For instance, there was a time when I was skateboarding in a supermarket and these group of guys, they rode a petrol moped into me. And it was a group of guys and I was just there skateboarding. And then they sort of... It was obviously their fault and I felt... Well, from my perspective, they'd done it maliciously. They rode it into me. But then they sort of turned it on me, and then in the moment, to avoid conflict, I decided to apologise to them. And then I get angry about that. Why didn't I stand up for myself? I should have stood up for myself. I should have said so many different things. And I would get very angry about it. If I could go back, I'd imagine a big fight scenario, and somehow I would win that fight. I don't think so in reality that I would win that fight. But for a long time I was very angry about it. And I would feel disgusted at myself about it. Until I started talking about it more. For instance, I wouldn't have been able to talk about it on this stream if I hadn't talked about it before. But I've said it so many times, I've verbalised it, that now I'm okay talking about it. And I don't feel so angry about it anymore, because instead of being angry at myself, I've worked on myself. I've tried to improve myself, make myself stronger. That's the only thing I can do. I can't go back and change that situation, because it's happened. You regret not standing up for yourself to this day. There's many times when I should have stood up for myself. But I can't beat myself up for it because I didn't. All I can do is try and make better decisions in the future. In those moments when I'm confronted with conflict though, I don't know how I'm going to react. Like, I remember I was in a local shop, like a convenience store, and this guy came in. I'll be honest, I was a bit messed up in my head and I was like, I'm going there to buy chocolate. As in, I'd maybe been smoking something, and I was like, I want some chocolate now, and I go to the shop with some friends, and we'd browse in the chocolate section. And then we hear this loud noise, and I think nothing of it. And the loud noise just is still there, and then I turn around, look at the till, and it's like this guy who clearly wants something for some substances, and he's got a knife, and he's asking, empty out the till, empty out the till. And then only in that moment, I was like, oh my God, there's actually a serious situation happening here. And I'm here staring at the the 3 chocolate bars for £1.20 deal. And then like me and my friend and another random guy who was also probably stoned looking at the chocolate section, we were just standing there like, what the hell do we do? There's a guy here robbing the one stop, and we're looking at chocolate. Should I? And in my mind I think, should I do something? Like, I'm behind this guy who's holding up the person behind the till. Should I do something? And I end up doing nothing. And then we go home, and me and my friend talk to each other, and we say, we could have done this. If we worked together, we could have stopped him. We could have, and any number of scenarios, we thought of them, and we were both annoyed that we didn't act. But if we did act, he might have stabbed us. I don't know. We don't know how it could have reacted. Did we do the best thing in that moment? No one got hurt. I don't know. But those sort of things I think about over and over again. And there's been times like that throughout my life. Anyway, to circle back to it, if you've got a traumatic memory, I think the best thing, from my perspective, is to share it. That's the only thing I would say that helps. And I have shared with just people I know. I have talked about it in therapy as well. But I think just finding someone you feel that you can trust to talk about something traumatic is the best first step. And then making sure that you feel safe to continue sharing, and maybe share with someone else that you feel safe sharing with, and then build on that until it doesn't feel so intense or so much like a deep cut. I hope that helps. Your brain wants to go full John Wick. So I got so into that I've fallen a bit behind on the messages. Yeah, I know the anger that you can get from thinking about these sort of things. It does run deep. Craney says, try discussing with your family. That's what they're there for. If you don't have that, then pay for a therapist. Yeah. I think therapist or just talking to a friend or a family member that you trust is the best approach. I was burned out working a job that I hate and found purpose by working on my own game. I think it's pretty good, but I'm 2 years in now and I'm struggling to find anyone that's interested. Yeah, that can be a real struggle, trying to find people that are interested in your own work. For instance, this very channel, I've been doing it for 11 years. Recently, it's been 11 years that I've been doing this channel, and not many people were interested in anything I had to say until the past 2 months. So it can be a case of sometimes it does just take a long time. What's this? You say you've spoken to therapists before, they are worthless. I now use ChatGPT for therapy and we've become friends. I mean, ChatGPT is amazing now, isn't it? So if it's helping, that's good. Maybe you just had therapists that weren't the right fit. I know that can be a real problem. I feel like when I went with my gut feeling of a local person, and I just happened to stumble upon someone who helped me a lot and taught me a lot of things, helped me see things in different ways. And I don't know, it's been years since I went, but I still remember a lot of the lessons I learned from that. So I don't know, did they teach you any lessons that you could draw upon, or did you just not connect with those therapists? I know therapy's not for everyone. And the thing is, I used it in conjunction with doing exercise and just working on myself in that way. I think if you're not using exercise alongside... If you're not exercising and working on your body alongside therapy, I think that it would be less effective. I think almost to deal with these sort of things, for me, I think I have to lift. Sometimes when you're angry, the best thing to do is to use your body physically. And something I keep saying a lot is I think that men need space to be angry. Perhaps ladies too, but I feel like particularly men and younger guys, sometimes you just got to be pissed off, and there's actually nothing wrong with being a bit angry. You just want to have a bag to punch. I like to punch this chair, hit that cushion. I like to give it a jab most days. And when I'm really angry, I'll go out and thump the sofa. In the past, I have hit myself, and that was not a good approach. But I think sometimes you got to allow to be angry, have some space, and punch something. As long as you're not hurting someone else, and particularly as well not yourself, because I've been there. That's not productive or useful. But if you're venting it in a safe manner, I think it's really helpful. But it can also be vented in the way of lifting as well. Right, so you didn't connect with them. They were they were women mostly. Women don't understand anything about being a man. I've been in very violent situations. If I told them any of this, they wouldn't understand. That's interesting. Funnily enough, the therapist that I saw was a lady. She did help me a lot. But I did also have what you could call mentors, male mentors. For instance, a local kickboxing legend. I learnt a lot from talking to him. I have actually interviewed him on the channel as well. And I think I found a lot of great role models in the gym. People who, men particularly, but also women as well, who are working on themselves physically to be better. And the thing with people in the gym, which I've grown to really appreciate, is you find people that they're trying to better themselves in all ways. It's not just their body, but their life. And I think it can be a really powerful place. Don't go to your commercial gyms. I'm not knocking I am knocking commercial gyms, but local, like, grimy garage gyms, dirty gyms. Go to those ones. I feel like that's where you meet the real people that you can draw inspiration from. Sergio says anger can be quite motivational. Yes, that's exactly what you can use it for. It can let you see, like, this is unfair. I need to act and change this. This is completely unfair. I'm angry. I feel inspired to change. So anger can be a useful tool as well. You went to therapy once. He told me that I could analyse my problem very well on my own. He asked why was I there? Well, yeah. He didn't know how to help you, essentially. And that's what I mean. Therapy's not the best for everyone. For me, it helped. It doesn't help everyone. And that's why I think why do I keep saying using? Conducting exercise alongside is very helpful. The cake is not a lie. It says, what pushed you to be health obsessed as you claimed you are now? So you don't believe that I am. What pushed me? I was always into skateboarding or doing something physical. So I kind of was a bit more physical anyway. But mostly it was going to hospital for my ulcerative colitis and feeling like I was almost dead, like about to die. And then coming out of that really forced me to focus on my diet. I feel like I have to work on my diet and be very strict. Otherwise, I might bleed a lot and end up going back to hospital. I might develop bowel cancer. Like, these are sort of like background fears. I mean, just the other day, I went to the bathroom and there was loads of blood. Luckily, that went away very quickly. But that's the sort of thing I deal with. And that's very motivational for trying to sort your health out. And I did experiment. I had a YouTube channel which was just me kind of just going on about health and ulcerative colitis and inflammatory bowel disease. And I was uploading to that for about 5 months straight. And something I always said was, there's these pillars of health. And this is things that I felt like I learned through going through that experience. And sometimes it takes a big event like that to really make you focus on your health. But the pillars that I came up with, there are 4 pillars. It's like your physical health, so that's exercise, emotional, sharing. I'm struggling to remember now. It was diet, sleep, exercise, and community. Those are the 4 pillars. And I think if you work on all of those 4 pillars at the same time, it holds the roof. and raises you up. And that's my sort of thesis, you could say. That's how I try to live. And yeah, I am particularly strict on myself when it comes to diet. That's how I became obsessed with my health. Anyway, to answer that question. In terms of the gym, I was working out before I went to the hospital. But I've been living with ulcerative colitis for as long as this channel has existed. As long as I've been on YouTube. No, not on YouTube. As long as this channel. It's 11 years. This channel's 11 years old now. I've had ulcerative colitis for about 11 years too. So for many years, I have dealt with bleeding out of my arse and thinking at certain points I was going to die. And losing weight. I always struggle with losing weight. I find it hard to gain weight. Some people envy that they don't know the full picture. So yes, that's why I'm a health freak in a sense. You could say that. And yes, I do make mistakes. And yes, I'm not 100%, but I try my best. So I hope that gives you full context of that. And why I may have mentioned health in the past. Yeah, so like Sports Zealot saying to Frenchie over there, it might just be it might just been an inexperienced therapist, let's say that. Or maybe he just didn't care. Some people were just a bit jaded. Maybe he did care. I don't know. I don't know this therapist. I've experienced trauma. I have healed from it a lot over several years through various avenues. The parts that are still lingering though are there because they are comfortable. No matter who I talk to, I don't think I'm mentally prepared to deal with the pain required to heal from those. This is where the kickboxing local legend that I mentioned, reason why I find him so inspiring is he talks not just about the physical health, but also he talks a lot about complex trauma. And he has this whole program about dealing with complex trauma. And he works with, I think he's a doctor, Tim Fletcher as well, who also specialises in complex trauma. And the way he's explained it to me is, it sounds complex, but all it means is many forms of trauma. And this might just be small things. For instance, it might have been a parent digging at you saying, oh, it could have been anything. A parent belittling you as a kid, and then you grow up to feel inadequate, to feel like you need to prove something to your parents. That would be a form of complex trauma. Or there's so many different ways, and it is complex as well. And it's not something I fully understand, but if you do end up going into the rabbit hole of complex trauma and listening to Tim Fletcher or listening to Ed Lofts, the kickboxer that I'm talking about, that's their specialty. And I heard a lot of myself when I went to one of their seminars to film it. What Tim Fletcher was saying about complex trauma, it sounds like a lot of myself in there. So it's an interesting thing to look at, and perhaps that could be part of what you're experiencing too. I didn't explain that in the best way. So it's a matter of utter need that gives you the required motivation, is it? What you said about forced healthy lifestyle. I mean, for me, I feel like yes, sometimes it does take a big moment like that to make you realise what actually matters. For other people, they might have realised it through their own different ways. But that's what allows me to be so consistent, as it were. Whereas before, if I didn't have any of these problems, I may have been able to go to the gym and maybe I'd lose interest because I didn't have that sort of core value. It instilled a core value in me. My health is at my core value. I want to look after myself and make sure that I can live for as long as possible and as healthy as possible. So yes, it might just be sometimes some people just need a life-changing event to make real change, because it's hard to have the motivation to change. But I have sort of implemented systems in my life to make it easier to follow those things. Like I just told myself most of the time, well 99% of the time, I don't eat chocolate. In fact, I had this. I don't really drink protein shakes either, but I was at the gym the other day and I got a random. It ended up being a chocolate protein shake, and I had a taste of it, and I said, "This is insane. This is a crazy drink." And it's just because I'm so deacclimatized to the flavour of chocolate. I was explaining. I felt like a child. I was like, "It's so silky. It feels like this silky texture going down my throat." The chocolate protein shake was mind blowing. But for the most part, I eat pretty plainly, and I enjoy it. What helps me as well, that might not help a lot of you, because you might not think the same way, but I actually like doing the same thing every day. I love routine. I didn't know it when I was younger, because I didn't really have much routine, but since I've instilled myself with a routine, I kind of thrive off of it. I do more, I'm healthier. It just keeps me on track to do the things that I want to be doing. Also, I think sometimes you don't know the full extent of the trauma until a specific set of circumstances or people bring them out. Yeah, I feel like I tend to agree with that. Like, because you might not have fully thought about your trauma or even know it's there until someone maybe asks you a particular question and those emotions arise in you, and suddenly you might get a trauma response. You might want to, I don't know, cry or run away or feel overwhelmed. However you particularly respond to those sort of things. So yeah, I do tend to agree with you. I did see a message there, but it's redacted. Will I ever play Left 4 Dead 2? I have played it before. I'll never say never, so maybe I will play it on stream. Who knows? It is interesting. I notice a lot of messages get retracted on the YouTube chat. I don't know why. The Mink Man cometh. Welcome back, Minkmeister. How are you doing? The roleplay on yesterday's stream, that made my day, that did. I really enjoyed that. Today's we've got a serious discussion going on. I do like to keep it light-hearted, but we're approaching serious discussions in a light-hearted manner, I hope. I hope that this conversation's cheering you all up. As serious as it sounds. My nan used to constantly belittle me and her own adopted daughters. Not my dad though, the biological son. Now her partner is going through dementia and she needs help and no one wants to. That sounds really tough. People just avoid her and basically leave her alone. I didn't have anything to that extent, but I will say that my nan is kind of going through the same thing. She's 93 now, going through dementia. And she didn't used to belittle me or anything, but she pretty much hasn't really been part of my life. She used to isolate herself. I think isolating ourselves must run in the family. But she would isolate herself. She picked me up from school a couple of times, but on Christmas she would come round, stay round for an hour, and then just go back home again. And she just wasn't ever part of my life until she had health problems, and then I had to go round to her house and cook her. I used to cook her lunch, like some eggs on toast. Sometimes I'd add bacon because I was bored of making eggs all the time. That's actually where I learnt to make a boiled egg, because I don't like boiled eggs. I think they stink, but she likes them. So I learnt how to make a boiled egg for my nan. But she was never part of my life until we had to look after her. And now she's had the opportunity to... Well, she lived with my dad for a bit and they couldn't handle it. My dad didn't handle that situation very well. She's now in a care home and she seems quite happy there. But I can tell her memory's really going. But for a long time, yeah, it did feel like, why do I have to go... It made me come up with a lot of questions, because I would get sort of annoyed. Why do I have to go round and help? And then I'd think, stop being so selfish, Jake. Like, she's going through these health problems, she can't help it. And then I'd sort of cycle between back and forth. I'd feel guilty for being annoyed about it and selfish for wanting to not go and help. And then I would guilt myself into going to help anyway. So yeah, not really the same situation, but I kind of understand where you're coming from. She's constantly ringing us now. She has her adopted daughters. She's 94 and she lived one road away. I mean, a few yards, and they don't do a thing for her. Meanwhile, we live 270 miles away. We're constantly getting called to help. She used to even phone me and try and upset me. I stopped calling her, and then she complained to my dad I wasn't ringing her. You can't win with people. Yeah. It might be just because you actually answered the phone. Maybe you were the only people answering the phone. I don't know. That's a complicated situation there. And I can imagine the feelings the emotions that must bring up as well. Very stressful. I mean, even just anyone going through health problems can cause stress on the whole family system. Dementia in particular is brutal. My grandmother had dementia too. It usually happens to people who withdraw from the world or become deaf because they are left out of conversations. They don't exercise that brain. Yeah, I have heard that. One of the causes, well, not causes, I don't know if it's a cause, but there's a correlation between social isolation and dementia. And like one of the best things you can do to protect yourself from dementia is to have a community. My nan did not take part in any community. She didn't even want to engage with the family. So naturally, I didn't feel like I wanted to engage with her either. Yeah, it could be all genetics or old age as well. True, she said my brother didn't answer and the other people didn't answer. So yeah, thanks for listening. Well, thanks for sharing. I know this must be... It's hard to share those sort of things, so thank you for approaching us with it. And I think what can help with the internet and you guys having like these usernames and that is it is kind of anonymous, so you can, maybe it's a safer space to share these sort of things. You don't have to reveal who you really are, so it's like a safer space potentially. Unfortunately, which means I will probably get Alzheimer's at the age of 65. I'm 32 now. We're the same age. Well, you could try your best to counteract the Alzheimer's. Thymers? That's a hard word to say, isn't it? Sometimes I just revert back to calling it the old timers. So what is it? It's having a community, exercising your brain, work on all those things, reducing your stress as well. Easier said than done. One of the most stressful things you can be told when you're stressed is to stop stressing. A cognitive reserve, yeah. I'm 27, that's really my name. Joke. Okay. We'll call you secret name. Mr. Young'un. You young whippersnapper, 27 years old. Reduce stress, exercise, less sugar, and more community. Cercio, damn, I have to go. Wish I could say enjoy your stream. Thanks for popping by today. I know the YouTube chat's popping off right now, but I can only get Twitch chat on the screen, and that's why if you get a Twitch message come through, it will pop up on the stream. Can't do that with YouTube, but YouTube chat appears next to stream anyway, so, and it's always there, even when you watch it back as a YouTube video. But yeah, reducing stress is so much easier said than done. Oh, what is that little corner he's hiding in? But it's a go-to thing you can say, or people always say it. What are you stressing for? Don't worry so much. Just stop thinking about it. Pasty smiles upon you, by the way. Oh, wasn't expecting to get that. So I haven't even got to the comments for today. It's been a good discussion so far. I can't get them on the screen because I've reserved them in this Google document on my laptop, but I can read through some of the comments that I've saved here. For instance, this one is just a bit of a controversial comment. Someone said being a content creator is probably the best and easiest job, in my opinion. And that got me in a couple of mindsets, because I was thinking, one, it's not even my job. It would be nice if it was my job. So I think it's quite hard. If I knew how to do it, then I would. Oh, he's a little plushie who's Cornish pasty. Oh, I see. I read it as pasty, didn't I? I was thinking pasty boy. That's me. As part, we'll go back to that comment in a second, but some of the meds that I'm on for my IBD, this one is called azathioprine. Apparently increases my risk of skin cancer from the sun. So I've become a vampire as of the past couple of years I've been on that med. Actually, I've been on it for 3 years now. Time does go by too quickly. So I try and hide from the sun as much as possible. And when it's actually sunny outside and it's way too hot to wear a hoodie and long clothes... Is he in that corner? I put way too much sun cream on. So I'm a pasty little boy. Well, not a pasty boy. I'm a pasty, hairy old bastard, aren't I? You'd never mock someone's appearance. Also, you're more nicer looking than me. Well, don't put yourself down like that. A lot of people would look at me and say, cut your bloody hair. In fact, I remember walking home from school one day, because I've had long hair for a long time, and just some random dude who was cycling past was like, cut your hair? I didn't know what to say. I couldn't imagine yelling that to like a 15-year-old kid walking home from school. A fully grown man yelling at essentially, I would say a 15-year-old is a kid in my eyes, telling him to cut their hair. I don't know what he was thinking. People are weird like that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to say. It didn't annoy me, but... On the topic of stress, what actually is stress? What happens to the body and brain? And any idea of what purpose it is? I can only tell you what stress feels like. I don't know what stress technically is. And why is it even a useful thing? Why is stress a useful thing? I mean, it's got to have some sort of evolutionary reason. Why do we get stressed? I guess it makes us do something. Stress, I guess, is essentially an offshoot of anxiety, I guess. You're worrying about something. A situation is weighing down on you, so perhaps it makes you react and do something. Stress is a survival reaction that the brain releases. It's to save you from predators. Yeah, so you might hide. Well, it initiates like a flight or fight response, I guess. When we get down to the core of it, it's either run or fight. But maybe we use stress as an umbrella term for things. Hunter-gatherer vibes, yeah, exactly. But yeah, going back to the being a content creator is probably the best and easiest job in my opinion. This was a comment I got on my video. And I think people, because my video, I Never Wanted a Job, it's got over 900,000 views now. People might think that this is my job because of that video. But it's not like that. If it was like that, then I would quit my job today and just make videos and stream all day. If only it was that simple. I mean, there are people out there who make a shit ton of cash doing this thing. But if I knew what I was doing, if I had a better understanding of what I was doing, I would be doing it already. For those guys that have content creation figured out, perhaps it is the easiest job. Because they know exactly what to do, and they do it. They execute it. Who knows? So Ben's chimed in, we have organs we don't use, so stress doesn't necessarily need to be there evolutionary. Also, stress lives in the present, anxiety lives in the past and the future. That's a nice way of putting it. I have always thought about like anxiety, like you said, is the future, and depression is thinking about the past. I think anxiety... Oh yeah, you said anxiety lives in the past and the future, sorry. Yeah, because for instance, I might be anxious that... I think anxiety for me mostly lies in the future. I may have taken an action that I'm worried about, but it's because of the outcome of what will the outcome of the action be. I'm anxious about, I don't know, maybe I ate some undercooked food, or I wasn't sure I cooked food right, so I'm anxious that I'm going to get food poisoning. I'm anxious because I ate the food in the past, but I'm thinking about the outcome in the future, so it's an anxiety response. Regret lives in the past, anxiety mostly future. Depression is something that's future and past and present related. What was the first thing you ever remember being anxious about? Oh wow, I don't know. The first thing I was ever anxious about. I mean, I remember one night, I must have been, how old was I? Maybe about 10. And I remember just getting this excruciating gut pain, running out into the hallway. And my mum was like, what's going on? And I said, I don't know. And it was just this intense, sharp gut pain. And then eventually it went away. And I was just worried that it was going to come back. And thinking about that, I wasn't diagnosed with bowel disease until, well, much later than that. So maybe that was an early sign that that was going on. But I don't remember the first thing I was anxious about. I definitely went through a phase of being very anxious pretty much all the time about absolutely everything. And I'll be honest, I'm still quite an anxious person now. I'm quite a fearful person. Very jumpy. For instance, a lot of time when Jo walks in, when I'm working, she'll open the door and it will scare the crap out of me, the noise of the door handle going. So I think I'm a bit better these days, but constantly in a state of, what do you call it, the sympathetic nervous system, like ready to either fight or flight, essentially. Not rest or digest, not relaxing. It's like I don't know how. And it might be like I'm playing a video game, but I'm like very alert. I think that might just come with the territory of having health issues, to be honest. Because there's always something to be concerned about. You're in a ready state. Have you ever taken diazepam? I'm not sure if I have or not. There was one time when I was in the accident emergency because, again, I was getting extreme gut pain, but I think this was related to something I ate. I had this English fry-up I used to like ordering from this one place. And I think it might have given me food poisoning or something, and I got the most excruciating gut pain. I had to go to A&E, and they gave me this white pill to shove up my arse. And within a couple minutes, I felt fantastic. Maybe that was diazepam. Because I remember saying, I was like, I wish I could have an extra one to take home. Out of all the drugs I've ever taken, that little white pill that went up my bum, I'd like to have that lying around the house. So that indicates that I shouldn't have that again, because that could lead to addiction. A white pill suppository. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I was in so much pain. I have no idea what it was. They just said, put this up there. I went to the bathroom, shoved it up there, and I felt... the pain went, and I felt like a monk. I was sat after that, when the pain finally went, I was sat in the A&E on the metal chair, and I was like, I felt ready to meditate. I felt like I'd finally reached, I could finally meditate. I would take that pill now if I had it here. So I shouldn't have it. Clearly, I would have a problem if I had that lying around. Don't give me the white bum pill. Because I will shove it up there. I think it was another lady I found on YouTube. She explained it that way. She said, the first drug isn't the one... It was basically, essentially, it's the drug that you enjoy that's the problem. Because that's the one that can lead to an addiction. Librium, I don't know what that is. But yeah, that gave me the greatest sense of chill. I felt fantastic. It just turned off that feeling. I guess the feeling of being me, worrying and being anxious all the time. I've had diazepam before, but this was absolute bliss. Just no anxieties at all. It's basically like diazepam, same thing. I'd probably like it too then. So maybe I shouldn't. It's funny because a white pill is slang for something positive in our lives. Something good for us won't feel nice sometimes. Okay. I haven't heard anyone use that term before. I've heard people saying like that's a black pill take, or I'm not even sure what that means. I know the red pill and the blue pill because it's from the Matrix. It'd be like if that's a red pill take. Which was the pill that... It was the blue pill to stay in the Matrix, right? So the red pill would be trying to break out the Matrix. No worries or concerns. It was lovely. They give it to people who were withdrawing from alcohol. I wasn't withdrawing from alcohol, but I was anxious. Okay. Have you guys watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Because that reminds me of... There's one episode where they think each other are getting sick. So they quarantine. And throughout the quarantine, they realise that they haven't drunk any alcohol. And that's why they feel terrible. And as soon as they drink, everyone feels normal again. And then they realise they're alcoholics. And they just go ahead and carry on drinking. Drank too much caffeine in the past few days. Caffeine can be actually quite intense. I remember one of my friends' mums had a tea house, and we used to go there, and she'd give us free tea. And well, the business didn't do too well in the end, giving us all free tea. But but the tea, there's one day when I drank so much tea that I felt like I had these like ripples going through my arms. It felt like I don't know, it felt like my blood vessels were bubbling. Felt quite good actually. But you can easily take too much caffeine, especially with the strength of energy drinks that you can get off the shelf. Like what, 300 milligrams in an energy drink of caffeine? That's insane. How much is in a coffee? About 70 milligrams? If I have 2 coffees right now, in quick succession, I will have a jittery arm. And I know a lot of people who will tell me that caffeine has no effect on them. For instance, I was at my place of work the other day and a student comes up to me and he's got a 6-pack of Monster Energies. And I was like, I jokingly said, like, you're not going to drink all them, are you? And he was like, he started telling me that he already had 2 of them on the way here. And I was like, 2? That's a lot. How do you feel? And he would say that caffeine doesn't affect him. But I think for those people that say it doesn't affect them, it really does. They don't notice the stimulant effect because maybe either the way their brain's wired means it doesn't wake them up. But there's still the physiological effects of caffeine. It must be affecting them. The first time I was anxious when I changed school in year 2. I was dreading making new friends, meeting new friends, wondering if I'd fit in, if I'd get bullied, who I would bully. I think going to a new school is quite an anxiety-inducing moment for anyone, because you're going into a room filled with new people, and you might even get pointed out because the teacher will be like, this is Ben, everyone. And then they all have to say hello, and suddenly everyone's looking at you. I did experience that where in my place of work, educational setting, I'm not so good at introducing myself, and that was sort of a fear I had to get over. There's a room of like 16 to 18-year-olds, new school year. I've got to go and say hello. But yeah, just going around and introducing myself immediately dispelled that. Yeah, then they had no idea I was feeling anxious. They were probably feeling just as anxious too. They're in a whole new building. They don't know me. They know some of the people because they went to school with. They don't know the teachers. Whole new environment. They're no longer in the school they were in for like 5 or 6 years. So we're all just there shitting it. And I dispel it by just saying, hello, what's your name? And I go round, forget everyone's name because I'm not good at remembering names. And then I felt better. Munchie says, I just get deep beats when I drink caffeine. It's anxious from it brings it. It's the anxiousness it brings from it though. Deep heartbeats. I said deep beats. Sounds like you're going to make some music. Yeah, I'll be honest, whenever I've used a substance that makes my heart rate either feel stronger or faster, that's what really gets me anxious. It makes me feel the worst. I hate that feeling. Because it feels like I'm going to have a heart attack or something. But I guess a lot of it depends on how much you tell yourself, the message in your head. Like how you feel going into using anything like that can sort of dictate how it feels. I haven't had a drink since college. I built a tower of empty cans back then. I couldn't even look at it since then. I remember in terms of pizzas, I knew someone in university who had a giant stack of pizza boxes, of Domino's pizza boxes. Safe to say he was very overweight as well. But he just sort of kept them there like a massive stack of Domino's boxes. You've got to have a sense of pride in the things you enjoy. If you have the money, I kind of lost a bit of the chat now. This is quite a long time ago. Minky Meister says this stream is mental. That's because we was talking about arse pills. Hey man, can I get some arse pills? Yeah, I got some fresh ones here. Bend over. God, what I'd give to go to an arse pill vendor. Guys, why are you making me say this? We're just having a great time here. Oh, if you have the money, money just comes to you. That's soon unfair. I don't know what we're talking about. I'll give you around 10 grand to 18 grand a year from interest alone. I'm reading the messages in reverse order. Oh, wait, I learned the other day that I'm due to receive 250 grand when my nan dies and another 130 when my dad dies, who I'm extremely close to, which astounded me. Give you around 12 grand and 18 grand a year alone of interest. That's unfair to people who have no money. If you have money, money just comes to you. That's unfair. That's just how it works. That's compound interest. And I guess if you're getting that large amount of money, then well done. Or you can just thank what your family have done to get you there. They've done a lot of work. It's passed on to you. And now it's up to you to do whatever you want. And it's going to compound. You can leave it in the bank. You can invest it. You can save it. You can spend it on caffeine. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do with it because I don't have any of that sort of thing coming my way. But all I can say is well done. I mean, it's not like you went out and earned it. So I don't know if it's a well done. I probably shouldn't say that. But what I mean is don't feel guilty for it. Just be grateful for whenever it does happen. And I know it's not something that you want to think about. But that's just how money works. That's percentages, compound interest. I'd rather have him than any money. Yeah, of course, yeah. So I just think about that problem when it arises and don't worry about it. You never know. You might have a long, many years left anyway. Ben says, did someone say bend over? They can give it to me. Ugh. I've got a decaf coffee here and it's all cold. Here's a question for you guys. In my mind, there is no decaf coffee that tastes good. There's something they do to it that ruins the taste of coffee. Caffeinated coffee tastes so much better, but I don't want to have caffeine at this time of day. While working, that'll be around 40 to 60k per year. I don't know how I got that guy. Yeah, maybe just don't worry about the money. It is what it is. If you get it, you get it. You might lose a bunch to tax. If you don't get it for a long time, then you don't get it. I mean, it's good to have a kind of a plan of what you would do with it in that scenario, but don't dwell on it. Don't let the money change you either. Or Ben says, put it all on red. Don't do that. Or do it. I mean, it's your money, but it's not. We should stop saying that. I know you don't want to think about that scenario either. So let's move on. Let's move on. I've never had to think about an inheritance. So it's not a problem I've had to encounter in my life. Well, and I never will. I can say that for a fact. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm not seeing it as a brag. I'm just not trying. I just don't want to sound insensitive about it for you. Because I know it's tied in with family members and, you know, how they're doing. And honestly, people can say how much money they have and it doesn't bother me because it's none of my business. And there's plenty of people that have a lot more money than me. There'll be plenty of people that also have less money than me because there's always someone worse off than you in this world. And there's always someone better off than you. Unless you're literally the richest man in the world. But then even that person will have their own problems. Problems which you don't have. Pros and cons to everything, I suppose. But just because if someone else has more money than me, it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter to me anyway. You was originally saying about the interest aspect. It actually made me really annoyed that just having money will bring them more. Yeah, again, that's something I kind of learned semi-recently. I'm trying to use that to myself in my own favour, is to actually put some of my spare money away in perhaps investments and that. And I know saying that at this point is one of the worst times because the tariffs have actually destroyed the stock. Well, not destroyed, but it's down like, what, 10% or something like that. But over the long term, money that you put in there, say I'm looking at it on a 30-year horizon, it should be higher than it is today. Theoretically. But it's not like I have that much money to put in. For my age, my pension, as it were, or how much I have invested, should be above 30k or something. I just reached the £600 mark. So I'm way behind. That's me being totally transparent there. But some people don't have any. They're drowning in debt. So like everyone's got their own situation. The way, you know, I might see it from my point of view being like, I'm so far behind. But then there'll be people who, you know, there'll be people who have lots invested. There'll be people who have invested in debt, if that makes sense. So everyone's always in their own unique situations. Do you think talking about money is a taboo subject? I personally think we should talk more openly about money. Keeping it secret keeps us all guessing. Keeps us all guessing what we should be earning when others might be earning, and what others might be earning, which creates anxiety around money. Yeah, I think it's actually less of a taboo in America, I feel like. Whereas in the UK, no one really wants to talk about it. No, it was only recently, I remember someone, I won't say who, but was showing me their bank account. And then I saw that they had like a 10 grand debt on their bank app. They were willingly showing me. And then I'd been watching that financial audit show a bunch and learning about money myself because I ignored my money. And I was like, oh, I didn't want to know what it was for or anything. I just asked what was the interest rate on that. And I asked what their plan was to pay it off. Like, how much do you think they could pay off each month? For some reason, because I'd watched so much of a show where the presenter teaches you about interest and how much that can affect you with your debt. Because some of these debts have like a 30% interest on them. And that's crazy. So then I had no idea about these things until I watched that financial audit show. I was very illiterate with money until very recently. Nobody wants to talk about anything in the UK. Yeah, that's true. We always walk past each other with our heads down looking at the floor. Otherwise, I was talking about this today. I feel like otherwise someone might be like, what are you looking at? But then my friend was like, so you walk past, let's say, 10,000 people in a year. How many of those people have wanted to start a fight with you in the past year? And I'd be like, oh, well, no one. And be like, so 0% there. Let's stretch it back to the past 10 years. Maybe you walk past 100,000 people. How many of those people have wanted to start a fight with you? Oh, maybe 3. So that's basically no one. But everyone's sort of just in their own head, their own worries. All that schooling, they don't teach you anything about the real world. I've never was taught anything about money in school. The only question I have is, did they try and teach me and I just didn't listen? I have no idea. Some random old guy started on you a few months ago. What was he angry about? Maybe you were too loud. I don't even look at your stream camera. I stare the other way just in case you start a fight with me. Oh. So what's this? Hey man, Lifeline is a new movie about a hotline worker that gets a call from his younger self in a parallel universe. No, I've not heard of it. That's an interesting topic for a movie. Yeah, you don't look at me on stream, I might start a fight with you. Hello, Son of the Abyss, welcome back. How are you doing? Hope you're doing okay. We're talking nonsense and sensible things, actually, at the same time. But to catch you up, we're talking about money and white pills that go up your arse. And starting fights with each other. Right, I'm glad everyone's caught up. I'm not doing very well because I'm just busy chatting. He asked for bus directions. I gave them to him and he instantly said, duck you. Obviously he said a different word there. Fight me. Come to the alleyway and fight me. I'm a Scouser. I'm basically okay, enjoy your bus ride. That is a particularly intense reaction. Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well. Mr. Abyss. I have a list of comments I'm planning to talk through, and I only made it to the first comment. We're just having too much of an interesting talk today. I have loads of comments here as well that I've selected from my YouTube comments list. Some of them are people just criticising me, some of them are interesting topics, and some of them are just ones I found interesting. And I've mentioned comment number 1 so far. So should we go to comment number 2? Let's do it. So he's quoting a part of the video here. I've redacted everyone's names from this just to keep it anonymous. He said, this is me in the video basically saying I had no purpose. I often sat in my room wishing I had some sort of direction in my life. I used to have a deep sense of dread every time I had to plan something for the morning. And then the guy asked, how do you escape from this? Essentially asking, how do you find purpose? And that's why I titled the video, I have no purpose. Because that was the main comment I wanted to go through today. And it's something that we've touched upon before. And I think I've tried to talk about it in videos as well. But I thought I'd bring it up because he directly asked in that video, how do you escape this? How do you find purpose? And a lot of it, from my perspective, is just taking action. Just doing something. Anything. It could be action towards absolutely anything. When I think back, the times when I felt like I've had the most purpose in life are when I'm working towards something. And even if that thing, it might not be even an important thing, but to you it feels important. That's literally all that matters. It could be getting a rank in a video game. It could be lifting a number of weights. It could be applying for X number of jobs every day. That's anything. Gym, exactly. Gym helps. When I was powerlifting with my friends, and we're all trying to lift certain weights. Say one of my friends would lift 80 kg on the bench, then I would lift 80 kg. It's almost like he unlocks that. He can lift 80 kg, I'm going to try it. And then I do it. Because he did it first and made me believe that I could do it. Is he asking that? He was asking how not to dread the next day. Well, he asked, how do you escape this? It's in response to the whole segment, so... It does start with, I had no purpose. The deep sense of dread any time I had to plan something for the morning. In that, the context of that, he's quoting me saying that in the video. Why isn't this guy dying? Shoot him up the bum. That was in reference to, the context for that is that every time I would plan something in the morning, I got so anxious about whether I would get enough sleep or not, because I had such a bad time with sleep. I was really worried that any time I would plan something in the morning, I wouldn't wake up for it. I knew that I wouldn't go to sleep that night, so I would just think that I'd ruminate on it. I don't know if I fully explained it in that video. That was my context behind it anyway. I mean, the way I escaped that feeling, the sense of dread for planning things in the morning, the only way was for me to address my sleep. And we've got a question here, how do you sleep better? That's a really good question and something I've worked on a lot and that I still have to constantly work on. As someone who's had a history of bad sleep over a long period of my life. Just before that, French Toaster's got 3 exams to revise for. He's scared. Let's send him some warm prayers. Prayers? I'm not religious. Some warm feelings. Ben says he still doesn't plan for things in the morning because I understand I'm bad in the morning. That's a perfectly acceptable approach. Acceptable? Maybe that's not the best word. It's perfectly fine. That's your own strategy for dealing with it. That was my strategy for a long time, was I just never... It wasn't much of a strategy for me. For a long time I just wouldn't agree to do things in the morning. But then ultimately there would always end up being something I had to do in the morning. And it would cause me so much anxiety and I'd ruminate on it so much. And the only thing that's actually helped me is going back to routine. Just sticking to a rigorous sleep schedule. That's why you guys might wonder why I stream earlier in the day. It was because I go to bed quite early. If I was the type of person that was all about the views, I would stay up later and I would stream later. But I prioritise the sleep. I would rather go to sleep at the right time, for me. But it wasn't always like that for me. When I mentioned this earlier, but when I went to hospital for the IBD, that's actually what sorted my sleep out, stupidly enough. Because the nurse would wake me up at 6 a.m. every day to get my meds pumped into my veins, so I just kept that routine since. I've managed to keep it up for 3 years afterwards. The Austrian painter didn't sleep a lot because he had a lot of job. Had a lot to do. The stress of it all. Noah Caldwell Gervais game series retrospectives help me sleep. Dark Souls, Fallout, he has a bunch. Alright, I haven't heard of him, but I do have my own channels, my own sources for that. I'll get to your question in a second, Ben. The first channel that I came across, like those sort of retrospectives, was a guy called Matthew Matosis. Don't know if any of you have heard of him. I feel like in my mind he's sort of not pioneered, but he was the sort of person that started like the video game essay sort of genre. There's probably other people that did it, but in my mind he was the first. And it was like an hour-long video about Dark Souls. For some reason those are so easy to listen to. I don't know why. So Ben says, why do you feel the dread? And when do you feel the dread? why do I feel the dread is because I get so concerned. I just get so concerned about not getting enough sleep that I'm going to feel so bad tomorrow. That I'm going to feel really rough in the morning and feel just like shit. And the times when I've had that sleep deprivation, I feel so awful. And I just don't want to go through it. I guess it's like a little mini trauma in its own way. And when do I feel the dread? Okay, now I can remember the feelings now. I'll be lying in the bed and I'll just get this sort of pang of fear through me and be like, I've got to get up tomorrow and do this. I need to be up by 5. And then I'll be lying there like, if I go to sleep now, I will get 7 hours sleep. And then somehow an hour passes. I look at the clock. If I go to sleep now, I will get 6 hours. 4, it keeps going down. 5, 4. And then I'm like, oh, if I go to sleep now, I'll get 2 hours sleep and it'll be okay. Even if I get 20 minutes, it'll be alright. It's the morning. That used to happen to me a lot. Luckily, I've had experiences now where I do think I still get those feelings if I plan for something in the morning. Say someone's coming at 8 a.m. or 7, pick me up. I'm like, right, I've got to get up in the morning. And I'll go to bed now and I'll feel, what if I can't get up? And those old feelings will arise. But then lately I actually fall asleep. It might take me like an hour to fall asleep, but somehow these days I manage to fall asleep and I'm very thankful for that. So I can lean on that experience. The last time I worried about this, I actually did fall asleep, so it will be okay. And somehow that's been helping me. But that's something that happened to me a lot. And it's only something I've kind of learned to deal with in the past couple of years. Since I went to hospital and had that long established routine for myself. And just being a real routine stickler to myself. That's helped me a lot. But I won't lie. If someone said, I'm going to come pick you up at 5 a.m. tomorrow, I would worry about it. And I would probably lose sleep over it. And I don't know why. I've missed a lot of your guys' messages. What's the catch of such self-perception? Are there truth behind it or any advantages? What's the catch with such self-perception? What, like just like thinking about noticing my thought loops and that sort of thing. The catch is you end up ruminating on it and it makes it worse. The best thing to do would be to get like we were saying earlier, the pill up your bum and then it would all go away, wouldn't it? Am I religious? I'm not. Sometimes I wish I was. It would be nice to believe in something. I get a lot of religious comments though. Maybe some people think I am. But I'm here to set the record straight. I'm not religious. But I can see why it would be nice. It'd be nice to believe in something like that. Son of the Abyss says, I can't believe I'm still alive. Lol. I'm trying to see where Ben replied to. I think all the anxious/dread type feeling go back to trauma. I think it goes back to my childhood. Teenage years, just feeling, having echoes of past traumas, heart rate coming up first thing in the morning. Nice way to start the day. Yeah. Trauma can be a long-lasting thing that affects the way you think, the way you react to things, the way you deal with situations, and you might not even realise that it's kind of dictating your life. Have you tried meditating? I'll be honest, I have, and I haven't really given it like a proper go, but I have tried sitting there and following like these meditating apps and sitting downstairs in silence, and I can't say it's really done much for me. Actually, one thing I found useful for me is actually just trying to stop controlling it so much. Like I might be lying there and thinking too much, and then that'll get me on the thought, I need to stop thinking. And it's like I'm trying to take control over thinking. And then that makes it worse. I end up thinking more. My reply was to this: is it a lack of trusting yourself to perform the task in the morning? And that if you're failing performing that task, you affirm the fact you shouldn't trust yourself. It does feel like that. But then it can go the other way as well. You can sort of reaffirm a trust in yourself when you do it. But I guess in a way, sometimes the more you think critically to yourself, the more you strengthen those pathways in your mind, and you get better at being critical. You get better at putting yourself down. But yeah, I don't know if I've really given meditation a proper go. What I find better for me is actually going out for a walk. I find that a lot more meditative. But what helps me is actually just thinking about it even more, writing it down on a walk, and then slowly I find my mind becomes more and more quiet. So at the start of the walk, for the first 20 minutes, I might have loads of thoughts arise. And I remember one time I was doing a job where we were talking about, I think it was cognitive behavioural therapy. But one of the interviewees said that thoughts are coming up like fireworks, left, right and centre. They're always popping off. And I was like thinking, yeah, they are like that. Like thoughts just arise. But then after about 20 minutes or so of walking, I find it begins to slow down, and I might notice the sounds going on around me. I might notice the birds. I might notice the sound of the cars going past, the sound of the wind, and then I'm not thinking so much. So I guess that's my form of meditation. But it's really hard to make myself do that when I'm lying there trying to sleep. Oh, I don't know how I flick shot that guy. But in a way, I think that might be the problem, hence the word trying. I'm trying to sleep. Which I think that causes me to not sleep very well. Like, have you ever noticed when the easiest it's to drift off is, say, maybe you're watching a film or listening to something. Maybe you're not in bed yet, you're in the lounge or somewhere that's not in your bed, and you start drifting off and finding your eyes heavy. So you're right, I'm going to go up to bed now. And then you lie in bed, and then you start thinking. And now you're not tired at all. Kind of lost the tangent of my thought along there. It's like a meditative experience, I guess. But that's happened to me quite a lot. Come here. Oh, got to reload. We didn't get very far on these comments. But no, that all spawned from that one comment. That was a good one. Let's read this one. Brother, I'm 30 and I myself didn't know where I wanted to be. But in recent years been working on myself, and now I do strive for goals and know what I want to do. You just need to try different things, get some experience, develop mindset and discipline. Eventually you will enjoy it. So he's essentially saying kind of what I was saying earlier, which is just try to do something that you find meaningful, whatever that is. And you might, it was in response, well, it wasn't in response to this dude, but I thought it was quite relevant, as in for my point where I'm talking about trying to find purpose in something, whatever that is, whether that's lifting or gaming or progression. It's like just trying to act. At least I think that's quite relevant anyway. So someone else says, I've recently found my direction and I'd like to share some advice for those in a similar situation. Go in any direction. Any direction. It will most likely suck. But by going in these directions and finding out what you dislike and hate, etc., you eventually begin to form an idea of what it is that you want. Just do anything. Don't just sit around and wait for it to come to you. I feel like that's kind of pretty much what I was trying to say as well. And you can get a bit overwhelmed with that feeling of like, oh, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. And then that feeling of being purposeless will seep in because it feels like a mystery. What am I supposed to do? Am I doing the right thing? There's a guy there. Oh, he got me. So yeah, just trying to do something. When I started uploading consistently to this channel about a year and a half ago, I felt very purposeless. And I felt like I didn't know what I was doing or what I wanted in life. And then I started to question, who even am I? What do I even want? I felt like nothing was making me happy. I just didn't know what to do. And then through the action of uploading once a week to YouTube, I was like, okay, I can see I want to do this more. I'm going to keep doing it. And then that became my purpose. And that feeling of having a purpose became stronger the more I did it. And that kind of felt the same way when I started going to the gym as well. The more I went, the more I found a purpose in it. I started to get these goals that I wanted to hit and then go on these little journeys. Oh, can I get my deadlift up? Oh, who's going to get the biggest bench? Who's going to get the biggest squat? Oh, I'm going to follow this powerlifting program. Then you've got that whole journey of doing that. Getting fit and eating better will always be the right thing, at least. Yeah, I think that's safe to say that would help a lot of people. Just starting to do a little bit of exercise and eat some less processed foods. That can help with mood immensely. Even if that's all you do. You might find some purpose through that, potentially. You could always start getting into cooking or something. Who knows? But yeah, no, I thought that was a good comment. So this person says, I'm halfway through college and I don't know if my intended concentration is a passion that I really want. I have no problem with the subjects, and this person's chosen finance and accounting, but I fear that I won't actually be happy. And that reminds me of when I was in university. I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing, because I originally signed up to university for radio, and then they said there's not enough people on the radio course, so do you want to do broadcast media? And I just said yeah, because I thought, I don't know what else to do. I guess I'll do this. Did I really want to do that? I didn't even question it, to be honest, but this person is scared that they won't be happy. But they have no problem with the subjects, finance and accounting. Yeah, I guess it's just a case of it's that anxiety. Maybe they're worried that it's going to be a job that they just don't enjoy. And that's a valid feeling to feel. Son of the Abyss says, on the days when I feel anxious, the social aspect of the gym can be very hard. But it's more often than not always beneficial for me. Yeah, sometimes when you feel anxious, it can be really hard to be around people. I do still get that on days where I feel particularly anxious and I walk into the college and there's so many people there. Sometimes it can get overwhelming. And on some days, I've had to run into the staff room and feel like my heart's racing. I'm like, am I going to have a panic attack? And I'll just hide in the staff room for a bit until the feeling passes. But I know what you mean. Sometimes the presence of a lot of people can be completely overwhelming. But yeah, anxiety is a weird one. It's almost like you just become hyper aware of all the senses that you're experiencing. You're hyper aware of all the people. And then I start getting in that mindset of like, oh, everyone's looking at me. Am I walking strange? Can I remember how to walk properly? Sometimes these sort of silly questions pop into my head. It's a funny thing to think. And then I start walking strangely in my own mind. Am I really walking strangely? I don't know. I've forgotten how to even be myself. And I get this strange feeling. I can only describe it as like a depersonalization feeling. It's almost like I'm above my own head. I don't know how else to explain it. It can be. It feels like everyone's focusing on you. Yeah, I don't know. It does feel like that. But if you look back objectively, you can tell everyone's just in their own world, focusing on themselves. But when you're in that sense, yeah, it does feel like everyone's judging you. And then you get confused about who you even are. Am I controlling my body properly? It's a strange one. Anxiety is a weird one like that. So someone said, this is so crazy. How did this guy look into my head? Almost every video reflects my problems and thoughts. I've had quite a few comments like that. And that's where I never really thought about how just talking about these things, a lot of people feel them but just never talk about them. And they may have like come across my video. I think that's why some of my video, well, only one of my videos has got lots of views. But that's why I think a lot of people related to that one, because maybe they just never thought, well, never vocalized it. And for some reason, I feel like I can talk about these things. I've always said I do struggle to lie. I've got a problem with I can't remember what I used to have a phrase for myself. I had the same thought today when I was having a walk in the city too. That everyone's looking at you, and that you feel a bit strange. Oh, am I walking properly? But sometimes I can go into town. Yes, I have felt like that before. But then sometimes I can go into town, sit in a little place I like to eat, and watch people walk past, and then it's almost like I'm in the complete opposite feeling, where I feel like I can like people watch, and I feel like I'm not even part of the crowd. I'm just observing. And those times when I've done that, sat there, had some food, and watched people walk past, I felt the most chill. And I've actually enjoyed being in town when I do that. And I just look at everyone. Everyone looks so different. All these different peoples from all walks of life just walking past me. Some of them are rushing. Some of them are enjoying themselves. Some of them are tourists on holiday. And I'm just watching them. Because you have control over that situation, maybe. Maybe, potentially. That's how it is for me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It's just sometimes it feels very like I'm at peace when I do that. It can be just fun to people watch. What's wrong if people are looking at you? No one is, but what is the fear? I don't know why the fear is there. When I'm in that anxious state and I'm feeling like that, it's almost like they're noticing something about me. And I'll be scared. And I'm not sure why. Honestly, I'd have to think about that a bit further. But it's funny that that's one of the things then... I have thought about this before. I think it's almost like energy of the people. And it's... I'm finding my own energy overwhelming. And then the other people have their energy. And they might look at me. They might not even look at me, but me feeling their energy is too much because I'm struggling to deal with my own energy. You can think about it on an energy basis. It sometimes scared me how cool I am. Damn, maybe you're right. You didn't seem like a super cool dude. It scares me too. It's actually frightening how cool you are. Makes me feel like you're looking at me. But I often say to myself in my mind, maybe I look cool and they're evaluating my clothes. Alright, French toast got to go. See you later, man. I'm glad that this stream may have helped you. Maybe you think about arse pills on the way out. You never know. You missed the start of the convo. Well, I came in at the time that I liked it. It's completely fair enough. The stream was also streamed to the PS5 Battlefield 4 chat. Okay then. Well, there you go. You left your microphone. Oh. Okay then. So you're one of those guys that enter the call, like enter the team deathmatch, and you just hear the mic. Like Joe was playing Rainbow Six Siege yesterday, and apparently someone was just playing the flute down the headset on the team. That's you. You know the PS5 Pro remote? I don't actually. I don't think I've ever used a PS5. Ben apparently gave me a compliment. Oh, thank you. Oh, maybe they're noticing what a cool dude you are. Oh, I see. I did miss the conversation. I just came in at you saying sometimes it scares me how cool I am. Yeah, he's giving you a compliment, son of the abyss. He's complimenting all of us, obviously. The other week, a 4-year-old was constantly talking on the Battlefield 4 game. He was actually alright to talk to. Oh, there you go. And he was Arabic. So, he was cool. So, this person, I have a comment here. Someone is just being open and honest. And it got some negative comments. So, I'm not going to read the negative comments because people were just being assholes to him. But he says, I mentally cannot keep a job for more than a week. My brain just gives up from pure boredom. I don't blame anyone in my family for thinking I'm lazy because I probably am. Let me just choose which one I am. So he says he thinks he might be lazy. The only future I see for myself is being a bum on the side of the street. But I won't ask for money because another reason why I can't work is I don't care about money. It doesn't bring me happiness or value. Maybe I'm autistic. Who knows? Thankfully, my family is very supportive and they understand how I am. But I don't like how I am and I wish I was different. I don't want to live with my parents the rest of my life. But what else am I going to do? Where are you reading this from? So I was just collating comments that stood out to me on a Google document. But these are all from my videos on YouTube. I would put them on stream, but tell you what, World at War, being an old game, if I tab out, it has a chance of crashing. And I just didn't want to deal with that, so I'm just reading them out to you guys. I once read my card details to a pizza shop with my microphone on, without realising it while playing Street Fighter. He messaged me over Xbox Live to tell me he couldn't steal my details. To be careful. Do you know what? I remember the first time I fell victim to a stupid online thing was actually on RuneScape, and I was mining in the desert. There's, you know, the first desert area. If you guys have never played RuneScape, there's a desert. There's an area you can mine with a pickaxe. So I'm doing some mining, get some ore, and some guy just walks past. If you type your password in chat, it will be automatically censored. And younger me thinks, I didn't know that was a feature of this game. I will type my password into chat because it will be censored. And then it actually went through. And then I quickly spammed the chat with lots of random letters and characters and promptly logged off and changed my password. I felt like a total idiot. And Ben, you fell for that too. I learned password safety through RuneScape. You also spam the chat. See, RuneScape has a lot of valuable lessons for you. I fell for the Steam gift card giveaway scam. I used to see people go on about that, but I don't know much about it. Tell me about the Steam gift card scam. I do remember having one friend that he used to say he loved scamming people, and he would, apparently, according to him, he would always be scamming people, and he just gets off on it. And he was the one that got me banned on Armour 2 while I was asleep. I bought Armour 2 for Daisy, and he played it, and by the time I woke up, I was banned, so I never got to play Armour 2. Don't know what he did. Perhaps he was trolling people, who knows. You lost your account then, but Steam gave it back to me. I get off on listening to you reading out YouTube comments. In 2001, my brother and I used to private message people using an account called Rune Helper. We told them if we changed their If they changed their password to Rune Gold, they would receive gold. Oh my god. We would then log onto their account and drop trade all their weapons and items to the Rune Gold guy. Good times. I do feel good about it now. The thing is though, right? Those early learning experiences. I will go back to that comment in a minute. Sorry, we got some good messages here. But we would log onto the account, drop those early experiences in RuneScape. Me typing that password into the chat really taught me I need to be a lot more suspicious of what random people say on the internet. And it has made me more safe with my online credentials. So you could see what you did there as teaching. It was a teachable moment. Yeah, so going back to this comment, this person says they are too bored to work a job for more than a week. They live off their parents. They don't want to, but he's consigned to the fact that he believes that's what he will be doing. And he doesn't see any future for himself other than being a bum. That's quite a heavy comment to leave on the video. And that's a tough one to unpack. So first of all, we would need a bit more context. For instance, what jobs has he even tried? And what is it about them that he finds boring? Is that really what is going on here? Is there something else going on? It could very well, it might just be boring. But there might be something else telling him that he can't stay in the job for more than a week. Maybe it's not that he's bored. Maybe it's that he feels like he doesn't belong there. I think it is the type of thing you'd have to get to know the person more to find out why they quit the job. Why did they leave the job? What's the real reason? Were you really bored? Maybe. Again, I can't know just from a comment. Maybe they were bored. Maybe, like I said, maybe they just didn't feel like they belonged there. That might be the narrative they tell themselves. They might be bored, but who knows? Are they lazy? I don't think anyone's really lazy. They just haven't found the thing that they're passionate about. Maybe he just hasn't found the thing he's interested in. He might be bored, for all we know. He might just be a bored person. All the jobs might just be really boring. But yeah, we can't know without the context. And to consign yourself to just being a bum, you got to believe that won't happen. Because if you believe it will happen, it kind of makes it more likely to happen. If you believe, I'm just going to become homeless, there's other options. There is a way out of this. It doesn't have to be this. But yeah, I can see that would be... It could be a powerful core message that he tells himself. Maybe he believes that he's worthless. That's something, going back to therapy, that's something that taught, those sessions taught me quite a lot, was to look at what are you actually telling yourself in those moments. And she used to say that was your core belief. So she would ask me to go back to a moment when I felt like I wasn't worthy or something, or that I was very anxious or stressed, and she would say, what do you truly think about yourself in that moment? And when she first asked me that, I found it really hard to answer. I was like, I don't know what I truly believe about myself. How the hell do you answer that? But then when I sat and thought about it more and more, in the context of what I was going through, I was telling myself that I'm not good enough. This person might have a similar self-belief. They're not good enough. So it would be addressing that person's core belief. But then someone did respond. They said, money doesn't bring happiness or value. It's paper. Most jobs are incredibly boring. It's, if not painful, to work at. I keep messing up reading. Nothing wrong here. It's just the normal people are adaptive to most inconveniences. If by inconvenience you mean wasting half your life away for some big shot, slightly insane, grits their teeth and keep going, because stopping isn't an affordable option if you actually want to live. Most jobs are incredibly boring, if not painful to work at. I mean, a lot of the jobs on the local jobs board are not jobs that I want to do. I've been and done care home work. I don't want to go back to it. I always call it the bum wiping jobs. There's loads of them. But I've been there, done that. And if I worked a bum wiping job for 20 years, I probably would be absolutely sick of it. And I'll be honest, I was very much the same. Where I work now, how long have I worked there? I think coming up to 2 and a bit years, maybe. That's the longest I've been employed somewhere. Because I would work somewhere for about a year and then feel like I've really got to move on. You got to do bum wiping jobs after consuming the bum pill. Well, if I consumed the bum pills, I'd be pretty chilled out at the bum wiping job. I do find a kind of value in doing those jobs, though. I learnt a lot doing the old bum wiping jobs, the care home jobs. There is something valuable in, helping someone out, but it's not for everyone. I think I'm quite an empathetic person, so when I'm working with someone, maybe I might have to say the same thing over and over again. And some people say, "How the hell do you do that?" I couldn't do that all day, but I could do. I've done it. I've worked with people with dementia. I've worked with people who have, they have additional needs and they might go through the same loop of saying the same thing over again. It's like a self-soothing thing, and I engage with that and help them, and I'll say the same thing over and over again. And I'm all right to do that, but some people, they just are sick of that. They can't do it. Where did my comment go? I don't know. I think YouTube has an auto-moderation thing, and I've been going off on one. Mulaim says, "Is this world at war?" It is indeed. Self-sabotage in some instances. Oh yeah, so that was in response to the previous message. Hello, Joe. I reported it right away. It didn't go anywhere. The care home covered it up. I did miss something here. I thought you guys were still talking about RuneScape Guard. What do you think about my last comment? I didn't see it. It was about when I worked in a care home. I saw a member of staff push fit. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would definitely need to be not rewarded. Reported is the word I'm trying to say. I mean, that's dreadful. Yeah, that's horrendous. I've heard some horrible things do happen in some care homes. I was blessed to work in a nice care home. I worked on a brain injury ward for the most of the time I worked there, and it was a nice place with people who cared. All the managers covered it up. Well, I mean, they should be prosecuted, shouldn't they? Because that's abuse. That's literally abuse. These people are like defenseless. You're there to look after them. No, that is actually horrible. It's disgusting. People in care homes, they need people to treat them with care, respect and dignity. I remember that was the phrase of the care home. Care, respect and dignity at all times. I tried to be a whistleblower, but I was fired because I reported it when they weren't taking it seriously. I mean, yeah, that is horrible. At the end of the day, a lot of care homes, it's all about the money, isn't it? When it comes down to a lot of things in life. And the thing is, I felt like this when I started working in a care home. It's kind of like a forgotten world in a way. Like they're the people that have been forgotten about or hidden away from society. That's what it felt like to me when I started working there. That I was seeing a new world of people I've never experienced before in my day-to-day life. People with dementia, people with brain injuries, people end of life care, and it's mostly young people, and older people too. But when I was working there, it was like I was 18 when I was working in the care home. There's quite a lot of people my age working there. Some people might be reckless at that age, and I don't know. You need to foster a good environment for it. all the old people love me. They used to say things like, "Isn't he a lovely young man?" when I was walking out the room, but still in earshot. That's nice. They had just forgotten. The families would turn up once every 6 months to complain about whatever they could. And that's why, in a way, even though I did get really sick of working in a care home, I did feel like, in the same way where I work now in a college, I did get some of that human connection that I valued from it. So I think I've always gravitated towards jobs where I'm working with other people. And I think it can be valuable. But obviously there's always some people that aren't right for that sort of job. He's always so kind to us, he goes out of way to make sure he listens to us. Well, that's nice. You should put that on your CV. Some good references right there. I also worked in that job in the care home as a security guard almost 2 years before polygraphy. Is that when that's the lie detector? Oh, I think this is the worst I've performed on COD. So focused on talking. I don't think the care homes I ever worked at had a security guard. Is it good pay working in care? No, it's minimum wage. That's what I mean. It's a high, from my experience, it's a high churn job. People come, then they quit very quickly because they get sick of it. So you never retain like a core staff team. There might be like 1 or 2 people that are there all the time, maybe the nurse. But it's high churn, minimum wage work. And it's really long hours. 13-hour shifts. The guy who created Wonder Woman created the lie detector test. Boom, that was like a mic drop comment. But yeah, I've never had a security guard at a care home. I remember when the owner at the care home said, "If you want £10 an hour from me, go work at Aldi." And he was rhyming as well. Turn it into a grime song. "If you want £10 from me, you better go work at Aldi." Aldi pays quite well, from what I know. Well, when I worked in the care home, it was £6.22 per hour. I remember that clearly. But I was 18 back then, so it's a long time ago. I mean, that shows you how long ago it was. I think minimum wage is literally double that now. Aldi pays minimum wage. Oh, okay. I thought that Aldi and Lidl paid more. I guess I'm wrong. Yes, this was a topic of... I wanted to kind of write a video about it, but I didn't really know how to put it. It's like those jobs that are socially valuable, like looking after the elderly, working in education, are some of the least paid jobs. And I think because it all comes down to, you know, how much financial benefit you generate from that job. So while you might generate like a social benefit, helping out these elderly people, helping out in people's education, it doesn't, you're not generating a business lots of money, so it's not paid that well. That's kind of like what my thoughts were on it. And I was trying to rationalise it in my head. But that was the rationalisation that I got, or that I came to. Like, I'm trying to not look at it in a cynical way. I was trying to look at it in an objective way. And I guess it's, if we're looking at it in an objective way, I guess it's because it's like you don't need many skills to be a care assistant. Like, I didn't have any background CV experience, so I guess I wasn't a very valuable person to a business in that sense. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a high churn job. You can feel like you're making a difference if you work in those sort of places. If you work in a nice care home, you can get some purpose out of it. But it's not a place that I wanted to spend long there. I mean, I worked in a care home, I think maybe about a year. Maybe about a year and a half, I'm not sure. I ended up doing some private care work, actually, weirdly. Because there was one guy I helped out with, and then his son would come in, and he got on really well with me, and I think it's because I looked like his son. His son had long hair and a beard, and then he would mistake me for the son all the time. So he would actually treat me really nicely and kind of swear at other people. And then when he left the care home on the brain injury ward, his son was like, oh, please, can you come and help? Because he gets on with you so well. So I went round and helped out there as well. I've always felt like I've had no purpose until recently. I want to try and get a job in IT. I'm now doing an online course, but I'm struggling. I'm struggling with it, sick of feeling like it's going nowhere. Which sounds like you're doing the right thing. You're getting an online course. You could set some short-term goals, like little daily things to keep you on the right track. For instance, it might be just search for jobs. Look through 5 jobs today. Consider 1 job today. I don't know, just short things. Maybe work on... You could always ask what sort of skills are people looking for in whatever selective field of IT, and maybe work on... Today I'm going to work on X skill. I don't know, like little tiny little goals. You could set them as little game achievements for yourself. Maybe that would help, I don't know. That was my first thought. The job of a security guard is to prevent the elderly from going outside to the streets so they can get lost while nurses are caring for people. Oh, I see. Yeah, we never had that, and I guess the reason is because we had... From what I recall, the doors were locked. I don't really remember. It's quite a long time ago. But on the brain injury ward, I think, from what I remember, most people were in wheelchairs and that. This game, hello Eric, welcome. This game is Call of Duty World at War. An old classic. And you're seeing some top tier gameplay from yours truly. Absolutely top tier gameplay. Oh, like that, see? I was dodging bullets like Neo. World at War. Never played it online. It's pretty fun online. Like these guys. They're having a great time. Oh. Oh, so this is an email I got. Yeah, I got this email last night. Well, how was university? You know what video I'm from. Your only successful one, in which you detail being a lazy prick all your life. Although I loathe your existence, I'm interested in hearing what your college and university experience were like as a lazy coaster. How can you casually bring up the fact that you went not just to college, but university as well, and then refuse to go into depth about it? Post something actually interesting to your channel, knobhead. Can't let all that debt be for nothing. Love ya. Your new pal, Jimmy Salad. And I read that first thing in the morning. I checked my email, and it just made me laugh. What a ridiculous email to receive. I don't know if there's much to say about being at college or university. What does he want to know? I don't know. Magical. What a prick. I took it in a funny way. It kind of reminded me of, I guess you could call it banter. Seems like rage bait, yeah. Luckily, I was in a good mood when I read it, so it didn't annoy me. But I thought that was a funny one to put aside. Jimmy Salad. I mean, I can tell you guys that between me and my friends at university, I think we spent about £3,000 on takeaway. Is that something interesting from university? It's a lot of money. I remember when we used to use Just Eat most of the time, and it used to say at the bottom how many times I had delivered or had ordered that year, and I remember it was over 70. There are many days in a row where we had takeaway, day in, day out, rotation, Chinese, Indian, pizza. I did love the Indian. What we would get was should have spent that on a laptop. Yeah, I know. I should have got something that was actually useful. Although that food was good. We need more emails from Jimmy Salad. We sure do. He could be a recurring feature. Let me catch up with some of the messages. The last time I felt like I had purpose was when I helped others learn to code at boot camp. Right now I'm a bit burnt out because I worked on a project for 4 years with no appreciation. That would burn anyone out, not being appreciated for all the work you're doing, so I can totally understand that. And when you said you got purpose from helping others to code, that's where I feel, where I work in education, it is really rewarding to help people. It is. I really enjoy it. Although I've done the same. Yeah, you've also spent money on lots of takeaway. It's easily done when you have no thoughts to saving money and you don't care about the future at all. You're like, I want takeaway tonight. What would you say to a person whose pay is shit but the job itself is fulfilling? That's kind of like what I do right now. It's pretty much minimum wage, but I do get enjoyment out of it. If I wanted to make more money, I should probably quit my job. But I'd say, if you feel like your purpose is being fulfilled and the job is low paying, but you're very happy, I don't know. It sounds like you're all doing okay. You could always look for some sort of higher paying job in the same field, or maybe in a different country or something, I guess. But if you feel like really this job's given me a lot of purpose, then I don't know, would you even consider leaving that job? I think we forgot how much we learnt at university, and it seems like common knowledge. I mean, it's the first job when I was finished up to my day. Let me reread that again. I mean, it's the first job that when I finish up my day, I don't feel like skydiving without a parachute. I mean, that's a great start. If you don't feel like doing that, that's a positive. Yeah, what did I learn at university? I learnt that I thought the course was pointless in the end, and that I was a bit resentful about the whole thing, and that I probably could have done something completely different. And that it was a waste of 9k a year, or whatever the maintenance loan was as well. Especially the university I went to. It didn't feel like, because all the universities cost the same amount in the UK, I feel like the one I went to wasn't worth that. That was how I felt at the time anyway. My videos made you get World at War. I was about to say it the other way round. Your videos made me get World at War. Some unis are actually better value for money. Yeah, that's what I mean, because they all cost the same. There's always going to be a best uni and there's always going to be a worse uni. And that's just the way of it. And if you go to the best uni, you're kind of getting a better deal. I feel like I was in like the lower tier of unis for what I did. Or maybe it was just the course I did. How useful is broadcast media anyway? In this day and age. I probably just made some bad mistakes. Like this guy. That's how I feel after having gone to broadcast media. And And it also depends on the collective relations. I left that job because the collective was toxic. Yeah, I mean, if your work environment is toxic, you got to get out of there. You do use what you did at uni often, though. I am broadcasting media right now. To be honest, this microphone is plugged into a mixer I bought when I was at uni, and it's still going strong. This mixer is 13 years old. Hello, what are you doing up there? But I do feel like everything that I learnt at uni, I could have learnt through YouTube. But I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to how much passion I have for it. Everything that I've learnt and remembered and wanted to pursue has been things that I've been interested in. Or through like a passion. Like when I wanted to learn how to use a camera, this was part of the course actually, but this wasn't part of the course, it was my own learning. But using a camera, you know, is a skill that you need if you're going to broadcast media. So I learned a lot, way more than I ever learned at uni, from watching YouTube videos that made it entertaining. There was a channel called Digital Rev TV, and at the time I found it really entertaining. There's these three people that go out, it was kind of like the Top Gear of cameras. That's the way I saw it. They'd practice photography, and then me and my friends would go out and I'd just take pictures on full manual settings. And eventually I became really comfortable, and all I did was watch videos on cameras and go out and take pictures. And I learned how to use a camera, and I feel very comfortable to use a camera ever since, because I did that. Ben says, I could have done the same, but university applied it to real world scenarios. At least that's what mine did. Did mine apply it to real world scenarios? I mean, we had like a cool like TV presentation studio. It wasn't really a real world scenario, it was our own little scenario. I don't know. I feel like my attitude towards learning wasn't right at the same time. So there was two problems going on. I thought that the course was shit. The course that I was paying for, I thought it was crap. I should have just left the course, shouldn't I? I thought it was crap, and my attitude to learning wasn't right at the same time. Kit says, what made you start making YouTube videos? I mean, going back, if we're talking about literally my first few videos, it's because YouTube was new and cool, and I just liked filming things. For most of my life, I've liked filming things, and when I found YouTube, I just started uploading videos. Really dumb videos, like my friend kicking a shoe, me skateboarding, or whatever it was. My cats, pretending my cats are wrestling, and I'd film that. And then I pretty much just applied whatever I was interested in to YouTube. And over the years, for a long time, that was gaming or commentating RTS games, or even old Call of Duty COD montages, or whatever game I was interested in, I would make a video about it. So pretty much like the crux of what I do is usually doing something on YouTube over the years. For bloody 18 years at this point. This channel's 11 years old as of today, but I've got channels where it dates back 18 years that I made the account on it. My first YouTube account is older than some of the students I work with. That's a bit scary to think about. Do you think it's smart to believe in long distance relationships? I don't know. I think that's up to anyone. It's a unique situation to be in. If you want to believe in it or not. If you can make it work. If you truly love each other, then I think you could make it work. Potentially. I don't have any experience being in a long distance relationship though, so I don't think I've got much advice to give to that. Yeah, relationships in general vary wildly. No one can tell you what works. That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't know really. Like, they're all very personal, aren't they? I couldn't tell you about those sort of relationships, but friendships I think can be easily done long distance. Now, I've got friends I rarely ever see in real life, but we talk on the internet all the time. But like close, like a partner sort of relationship, I don't know. And I don't have a long distance experience in that sense. But yeah, so going back to the email from Jimmy Salad, I thought you guys would find that entertaining. So I get a range of comments on my videos from people saying, get that idea out your head, you're not autistic, you don't have ADHD, you're an idiot, to people saying, sounds like you have severe ADHD. So people think I don't have ADHD and that I'm ridiculous, and people think I am severely ADHD. And I just find that spectrum of comments quite funny. And one person here, someone said, this is the slap in the face that I needed to my I Never Wanted a Job video. Well, there you go. I never intended it to be a slap in the face, but it is. Oh, this is a comment I found interesting. So they said, I'm starting to contradict myself. Without purpose or a clear goal in life, why would you be so bothered by death? Or better said, the causes that lead to it. I think this was on a different video. To the point when you start believing you have a terminal disease. It's not like you have a child to raise by yourself because your wife passed and you hope to at least get him to adulthood safely without you dying. So he's essentially saying... Oh, there's a weird noise outside. He's essentially saying, why even be scared of death if you have no purpose in life? And I had to disagree with that because, I mean, there's been times when I felt like I didn't know what was going on, but I was still scared of dying. I don't think those two things need to be, like, mutually exclusive. Just because I, don't have, like, kids or something doesn't mean I can't be afraid of dying. It's almost like an innate thing a lot of people feel. I don't want to die. You want to live. All animals are like that. They'll fight to live, won't they? They'll fight for their life when it comes down to it. Do you know Joe Goldberg? I don't. But I found that comment interesting. And I think that comment might speak to what this person experiences more than me. So this is a comment that stuck out to me. Just keep talking to lonely guys while COD plays in the background. And I wasn't sure how to take that comment. Is he criticising me or is he enjoying the video? I have no idea. I don't know. I get a lot of comments that I question them. I probably don't even understand what they're trying to get at. Are they trying to take the piss or not? I don't know. Oh, so someone else says, I was talking about gaming nostalgia. He says, bro, I feel you. Gaming isn't easy anymore. And at first I brushed past this comment, but then I sort of thought about it. He said, gaming isn't easy anymore. And that's an interesting thing to say, isn't it? That gaming isn't easy. That it maybe it's stressful. I know I've fallen into the trap myself before of if I've got no friends playing online, playing anything that I want to play, I'll sit there and look at the Steam store, trying to find a game. And in that moment, it does feel hard to play a game. But then it's like, why am I trying so hard? Because that's just like what I fall back on as my go-to thing to do. Oh, let's get this guy. Right, so fun thing for me. I watched the I Never Wanted a Job video and it really hit me. Even though I have a good job already, I was not taking it seriously. Just coasting through it. Yeah, I guess a lot of people just resonated with that feeling of coasting through life. And it was something that when my dad used to say that to me when I was younger, that I was coasting, it used to really piss me off. But it was something I only really noticed, like, in retrospect, looking back. I would think, yeah, I was actually coasting through life. I wasn't trying. Somehow I passed my GCSEs. I didn't revise for them. I got lucky. I was coasting through there. And I guess maybe that is a contributing factor. I didn't have to try. I didn't have to go out of my way. Like, it wasn't on the line like I was going to fail. So I didn't have to push myself. And that allowed me to coast for longer. And then I went to college and did a course that was a DOS. And if you don't know what that means, it means it felt like I didn't have to do any work. I could chill out. I could hang out and not put any effort into it. And then I went and got a job in a care home. And I actually had to do some work. And after a year of doing that, a year and a bit or however long it was, I was like, right, well, I want to go back to education. I don't want to work anymore. And then I want to do a bit more coasting. But I never thought of it that way until when I wrote that script for that video. So maybe a lot of people resonated with that idea of coasting. Going back to the gaming isn't easy anymore comment, Connor said a little while ago now that that's highly dependent on the type of games that you play. Some games can feel like a bit of a barrier, like too much stress to even load the game. Like you have to be mentally prepared for it. That's why I've allowed this game to just stay as a casual thing for me. Because there is no barrier to entry. Oh, I just load the game, I chill out. I can leave the game. I feel there's no stress when I'm playing this game. Which is what you want from games, really. I guess sometimes you want a game that pushes you just for fun. I recently found that being more attentive to the game's content, what the game is doing and what it's about, and what it's trying to do makes it more exciting. No, I understand that as well when, say I'm playing a game and I turn off the second monitor and I just have the headphones on, I play the game. It can be way more engrossing. And you can get way more invested in the story. You can enjoy the sound effects and that. But I think a lot of the time, I'm always distracting myself. I'll be playing a game on here, but I'll choose a game that I don't have to pay that much attention to, so I can split my attention with whatever's on this screen. Oh, someone talking. And then I'm not even really listening to what they're saying because I'm playing the game. But then I'm not really absorbing what I'm looking at because I'm listening here. So I can understand that. Why is everyone hanging out here? So, there's a few comments here. I'm going to read the latest one. Eric with a K. I really resonate with your content. The way you articulate what you go through and how you feel is really unique. Oh, thank you. I'm 37 and around when I turned 30 I went through a similar phase. It will get better. Yeah, perhaps it is just a feeling of being 30. The one video that interestingly, this video does better as a short rather than the long form video. But I made a video a little while ago about the feeling of turning 30 and it just reminded me of my mortality. But I think that was more of a case of I'd been through this hospital experience that reminded me of my mortality. But maybe it's just a product of being 30. It makes you sort of question things. It is a big number to hit. I remember just before I hit 30, I was like, this isn't going to be a big deal. And then once you actually turn 30 and think about it, you're like, wow, this is quite a big deal. Didn't hit me straight away, but it crept up on me over time. Work in Portuguese is trabalho, which comes from torture in Latin. And then Vanessa was talking about something, but the messages have been retracted. Thank you, YouTube, for retracting comments so I can't read them. It's not very useful, is it? Oh, this is a comment. This is... This is something I hear people say all the time where I work. I never hated working. That is a you problem. Oh, people say that's a you problem all the time. It's so irritating. That's a you problem. Connor says that too, but I was talking about more of a critical analysis of the game as a whole. What the game is doing, what it's about, what it's trying to do, makes it more... Oh, so you're okay. Almost like, what was the message that the game is trying to give me? That's something I'm not very good at, you know. I've never been a good person at analysing the media that I consume in that sense. I'd have to really sit down and think about it for way too long. And my analysis, I feel, is never that great. It does take practice. Yeah, you're right. It's because I'm a very literal person. Where I'll get stuck in the motions of the actions I'm doing. Maybe the music, what I'm feeling. But then I get totally lost on the message. The medium is the message. I remember hearing that a lot when I was in uni. This is one comment. There's quite a lot of people who say this. It just says lazy. I'm lazy. And I don't think it is being lazy. But a lot of people will just rule off what I say as, oh, he's lazy. Doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't put any effort in. I don't think I was being lazy. It was more just my attention was... my interests weren't being piqued. So I didn't want to apply myself. But when I've done things where my interest has been piqued, I can put in a lot of effort, I've learned. Probably I have an overabundance of effort. The amount of time I put into trying to make content is more than I spend at my job. Way too much time. But at some point it's not so much effort, it's more like compulsion. I'm compelled to do these things. Joe says I can't read between the lines very well. Yeah, didn't we talk about this the other day on stream? Or was that just in real life? I can't remember. In real life. This is real life. I can't read between the lines, man. No, yeah, I remember Ben making a joke in chat about reading between the lines. We did talk about this on stream. So someone says, in response to me going to university, he says, just avoid being born in the country with education loans. I thought, oh, I should have thought of that, shouldn't I? I should have got born in a different country. Do I think having a team creating a game would be cool as work? Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, when I used to work as a team making videos, having a team makes a huge difference. When there's a team of you all working on it, it's like you got this shared energy. And having a team working on a game would be wicked. Do people still say wicked? Because I do. The morgue at the hospital. Wait, what's going on here? I thought of myself as lazy. Nothing interested me. And then I understood that often you have to make yourself interested in stuff by making a first step. Yes. Fresh. Wait, your name's Fresh Toast? I thought it said French Toast this whole time, man. Have you been Fresh Toast this whole time? Dude, you've blown my mind. Yes, I did. I scheduled a video. That's how productive I am. I'm live streaming and I just uploaded a video. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I don't know when I made that video. I make videos so far in advance that I don't even remember when I recorded them anymore. You told me that before. Well, that's how hard I can't read between the lines, man. I can't believe you told me that. Have I ever read the psychology book 48 Laws of Power? I have not. But it sounds powerful. The 48 Laws of Power. Yeah, and like I said, with the compulsion aspect, I feel compelled to make all these videos. And something in me, I've been doing this for the past year. Way before you guys were here to listen to me go on about these things, I feel like I need to have videos scheduled for weeks in advance, otherwise I'm failing. And that's probably something strange going on in my head there. But I tell myself, oh, if I had no videos scheduled in the future, I'd be kind of scared. Like, I'd feel like I'd have to scramble. I've got to make something. And that's just me telling myself I've got to do it. But at the minute, I've been trying to schedule videos as far ahead as I can. I don't know why. Because I'm just like that. I'm compelled to do it. And because I find it interesting and rewarding. And that's why when going back to this comment when someone just wrote lazy, it's all about finding that thing that does make you want to work that hard. And if you can find that thing, then put that energy into it. That's what I've been doing anyway. Just allow myself to be completely absorbed in it. So someone commented on my I Never Wanted a Job video. He said, this one aged like wine. That's quite a nice comment. I almost thought he might have been criticising it by not saying fine wine. So I had to read it a couple of times just to make sure. So, The 48 Laws of Power is a book that everyone from CEOs, businessmen, prisoners, criminals, lawyers, they all read them. It tells you how people work and how to manipulate them. Written by a guy called Green. How people work and how to manipulate them. 48 Laws of Power. I have a YouTube channel and have 0 views. Sometimes YouTube channels do just get no views and you have to keep making. Dude, it took me 10 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. It can take a long time. I've got the analytics to show you. In fact, I've got a video coming out on Friday talking about how I actually got my first 1,000 subscribers. Because it's kind of fresh for me. It happened quite recently. Yes, I might be at 18,000 subscribers now. Go back a year. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I might have just hit 1,000 subscribers, I think. So 10 years to 1,000 subscribers. 11 years to get to 18,000. It can take a long time, my friends. Hopefully you can do it faster than me. The first few thousand subscribers are the absolute hardest. Also, you say you have ADHD. So I said I think that I have ADHD. I was just thinking the same thing, Joe. You did say you had to go and revise. I'm not medicated for it. I am not diagnosed with it. But I have actually done a video about a year ago where I did this little online test. And I do have friends who are diagnosed with it officially. And he tells me that I display a lot of signs of it. I've noticed I think I display signs of it. I work with students who have ADHD. I see a lot of myself in them. I also I also work with students who have autism. I see a lot of myself in them too. Perhaps I do, but perhaps I don't. Nasman said, hey, I just found your channel 10 seconds ago. Well, welcome, welcome. I make videos for nothing. Well, I can tell you, I made videos for nothing for a very long time too, so it is what it is. It's complicated to do views for 0 views, literally 0. You don't have to tell me, mate. I made video, the channel's 11 years old. I didn't get 1,000 subscribers till 10 years in. So, I don't think you can say that enough. But you can say that enough. I mean, I totally know what you're talking about. I'd get an assessment. It might help you. Also, don't wait for the NHS. Yeah, one of my friends was waiting to get diagnosed, and he went private because the NHS was going to wait 2 years. My brother actually has an official diagnosis, so it is very likely that I do. My brother is officially diagnosed, and he wanted to do it to get medications, but apparently they refused the medications. So Shizler says, I feel like I'm failing every day. I'm on my second college course now at 26 years old. I just got killed in the game. And I just got to the point where I don't really want money. I just want to create things, share it, and that's it. But I don't see me trying to put it on work. Well, yeah, create the things you want to do. It's worth it. I get a lot of satisfaction out of creating, making something that I talk about this a number of times. But if I can make something, and I can sit on the toilet and watch it, and I'm like, yeah, that's good, then I've made something that I'm proud of. Fresh toast, not French toast. He says it's private, but the NHS pays all the costs for it. It's around £2,000 for a diagnosis and medication treatment. Wow. If I had to pay £2,000 for the diagnosis, I don't think I'd want to go through with it. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know if I would go through with a diagnosis because I don't know how it would change anything for me. I don't know. Simon says, to be honest, you are not lazy. At first I read that. To be honest, you are lazy, mate. You're doing a great job, inspiring peoples and giving confidence to peoples. Oh, thank you very much, Simon. That's very nice to hear. And Shizler says, green laughing man emoji. I don't know what sort of man that is. It's like not Shrek. You don't pay anything. The NHS pays for everything. Okay, so it's just a waiting game. Wait 2 years and you get it for free. To be honest, I did do a video for the person who actually does those diagnosis calls in my local area. Like, I actually have done a video for her in the past. I'm not saying I could get a diagnosis, I'd have to wait. I actually know who the person is. Because I did work with the NHS for about 4 years, I made some connections with local people. What do you do for work? At the minute, I work in education with people who have like additional needs. So they may have autism or ADHD or any of that sort of thing. I help them out. And I also create videos on commission for people. And I guess you could say I do this now. Although this is a small part of the income, it is a part of the income process now. But I was doing this anyway. Takes up a lot of time. You can tell the NHS you want to go private. Oh, I see. That's interesting. But at the cost of the NHS. That's like when they say, I have to go and get... I've got an inflammatory bowel disease. I know there's some new viewers here. And that involves getting a camera shoved up in my arse every now and then. And they do tell me that process costs about £1,500. I don't pay for that. The NHS pays for it. Do you stream often? I have no friends. Well, I do... Well, I don't know if... I don't have a streaming schedule. So... I mean, I plan on streaming if I can get time tomorrow and on Friday and hopefully on the weekends. But going forward in the future, hopefully at least once a week. That's my goal. And there must be some people that you could consider a friend in real life, perhaps. Some people around you that you could talk to. If not, maybe hopefully you can find someone you can talk to soon. In your area. But there's always lots of people on the internet willing to talk. I tried asking people to hang outside of college and literally everyone is too busy. Yeah, that is code sometimes for they just don't want to, which can be frustrating. I can understand that. So hopefully you can connect with a person that does want to hang out with you. Maybe they're just not the right people. I don't know. Maybe they are too busy. I don't know the full context. Liked your accent and voice. It made my day. Oh, thank you very much. Where are you from? Just out of interest. Because you know my accent. I want to know yours. Nas, man, you could take up a sport. Really good way to go. That is a very good point. Joining a club, doing some sort of sport, maybe like learning kickboxing or something, you'd meet lots of people. You seem like a nice fella. I'm from Indiana. You could always, yeah, that's a really good suggestion, you know. Taking up a sport. You always meet lots of great people at those sort of things. Humble people who are just working on themselves. I'm in a robotics club. Do you ever do like... Have you ever watched Robot Wars? I know it's an old show, but it would be like these people would make a robot and they'd have to fight each other. So I did that. Some of them had axes. Or flamethrowers. Yeah, BattleBots. Yeah, that's it. I think it must be the UK version was Robot Wars. College, university work. Yeah, volunteering. Yeah, I guess to go, maybe the people on your course or whatever, they're just not the right sort of people for you. I remember one time I joined some friends at an athletic club for a grown-up night of playing dodgeball. There's a national competitive dodgeball player I know of who may be around somewhere. Maybe he'll reveal himself. I remember Robot Wars. It had the black presenter who used to be in Coronation Street. I don't know who that is, but when I watched it, it had... if any of you have watched Red Dwarf, it had David Lister from Red Dwarf, or otherwise known with his real name, Craig Charles. That's who I remember presenting it. Maybe it was a different time. Red Dwarf's an old show now. I mean, it came out before I was born. I think. Like 89 or something. I don't know who you're talking about, the presenter. I can't say I've ever watched Coronation Street. Wait, you are talking about him? Craig Charles? Yeah, that is who I'm talking about. Craig Charles, yeah. Yeah, okay. I didn't realise we were talking about the same person. He's in Coronation Street. Oh, apparently his middle name is Joseph. And he is 60 years old. Just looking at some facts about him. Yeah, I like him as well. So someone asks here, basically, for those of you who've just joined, I'm reading YouTube comments people have left on my video. Someone says here, how did you even go to college in the first place since you didn't put in too much work? Again, I've got some negative comments just below this as well. But it's just that coasting thing. I didn't need to try. I got the things I needed from school. And I went to college. But this person might be assuming it's university. They might be from America, so they call it college. But I don't know. Because I didn't have to put in too much work, that's why. Someone says, get a job, lol. Okay, well, I do have a job. Someone says, lol, failed wagey. Okay, then. Don't have much to say to that one. So, Fresh Toast. Do you have any particular movies you like? I have over 1,000 movies with my dad I downloaded. I really like The Hateful Eight. I watched that sort of recently. Or, was that No Country for Old Men? That was very good. I want to be honest. I'm from the Republic Osaka. The place in which is very cold in the winter. I'm going to have to Google that. Let me have a look. I mean, the initial picture it pulls up looks very cool. It's like giant cliffs. Oh, okay. You're at like the top right of Russia. I can see why that would be very cold. A failed wagey. Like as in your wage, like how much you earn. Apparently I'm a failed wagey. Now, this is a good question. Because it says, now you've got an audience, do you feel like negative comments get to you? I only really see the positive stuff. Yes, well, this opened up a whole new world to me where I got a lot of negative comments and they were getting to me very, very intensely because I was very stressed out about just a lot of things, and then I'd get a negative comment. And yes, and the reason why you don't see them is because YouTube automatically puts them in order of rating. So you'll only ever see the ones that people have liked the most. If there was a negative comment that everyone liked, you would see that. But because I can click on my YouTube dashboard, I can click comments, like community, and it will show me whatever someone said in the past, just most recent. I do see a lot of negative comments. Luckily, it's been okay recently. But there was a period where they were really getting to me. And then someone had suggested I think I talked about monotone voices talking about games. And someone suggested a channel to me. And I go on there. And I've never seen the guy before. I can't remember the channel's name. But the first video that I see, his most recent upload, all of the comments are about, in the video he says that he's having a hard time with comments. And they're all saying the same thing. We can't find the negative comments. We love your content. It's all positive stuff. But in the video he must have said that he was really struggling with the negative comments. And I can see why, because I see them. All the recent comments, I see them. And because I've got a video that's now at 900,000 views, I get the full spectrum of people. I've got the people who like what I'm saying, the people who hate what I'm saying, the people who just hate me for existing. You know, that's a lot of people. So you get all kinds of people. So yeah, I do see negative comments. And I dealt with it very badly. Luckily, at the minute, I'm not really getting that many negative comments. Maybe one or two, but nothing that bad. Until I found the section of automatically removed comments. These are the comments you don't want to look at. They're comments that YouTube has automatically put on hold. I found out that this section existed. And then I never wanted to look at that section again. They were the bottom of the barrel, the most awful comments. I couldn't even read them out. YouTube censored them straight off the bat. And I didn't even know these comments existed. But no, there are some terrible comments. You don't want to see these comments. Well, perhaps it wouldn't affect you, but as the creator of the video, I don't want to see those comments. Haters always be haters, you're right. So where were we? Russia, Far East Territory. Yeah, I was just looking at the map. Yeah, as far as I could see, it was the top right. Ignore the hateful comments. Imagine how low in life you'd have to be to place a negative comment on a small YouTube channel. I don't know, but people see that video with so many views and they assume that I'm some massive creator or that this is my full-time job and I deal with this all the time. But that is not the case. It's the first time I've dealt with this. First time I've had this volume of comments. It was untenable for a while. It was crazy. I couldn't deal with it for the most part. But I think I'm slowly getting better. It's all a lesson. It's all a lesson, a life lesson. How can I don't know, get a thicker skin? How can I deal with the comments? It's interesting. And it's not something many people have to deal with until that happens. Until they get a video and they're like... It was shocking for sure. It's not what you think about. Because when you're starting out on YouTube, and this is me for the longest time, you're just making videos hoping someone looks at it. You're like, yes, oh, it got 100 views. Oh, this one got 1,000 views. Yes, and it might get 3 comments. And usually out of those 3 comments, they're probably pretty, nice comments. And then when you finally get a random video that takes off for whatever reason, you get the full spectrum of comments. Yeah, it's a weird world. So, back to these comments. Someone else says lazy. Someone says, is it COD? Lots and lots of people say, is this World at War? And then someone will comment saying, no, this isn't World at War, this is COD 2. And then I'll be confused, because every video I fill out, it asks me, what game are you playing? So I type in Call of Duty World at War. So you should be able to scroll down on the YouTube videos. You can't do it on the live stream. And it will say, oh, it's Call of Duty World at War. And that's because I filled that in. But I guess a lot of people will miss that. Jay's note says, hey man, I'm growing my YouTube channel. And I love mimicking your style of videos because I love I love COD commentaries with live talks. Well, feel free to. I'm not the only one who does it. There's plenty of people who also do COD commentaries. Where do you think I got the idea from? COD commentaries have sort of been a staple of YouTube. Even Mr. Beast did them. It seems like a rite of passage for any YouTuber. Make some COD commentaries. Why not? Everyone's got the ability to. I mean, World at War probably runs on any old computer at this point. All comes down to just the topics you talk about. I'm happy to see that it's growing on YouTube. My goal is to make this a side hustle so I can go back to college and get my bachelor's degree. Well, my best advice probably wouldn't be that useful, because I haven't got to that point where I could say it's like a side hustle, if you know what I mean. It would be like very random. You'd have to monetize it through other ways. You'd have to try and sell something if you want consistent money. Because ad revenue is completely random. It relies on how many views you're getting and how many ads it shows and how much people are willing to pay for those ads. And particularly if you're doing COD commentaries, you're actually hampering your ability to earn ad revenue as well. Unless you get lots of views, because gaming videos earn so much less than everything else. Yeah, it's better than working in retail, but also consider streaming as well. Yeah, this is like... Streaming is like restarting from level 1. The best way, if you want to turn it into a side hustle, is have some sort of skill to sell, as far as I know. Or be so popular that you get millions of views. Yeah, it's a difficult one. And I haven't figured it out myself. If you do want to hear from people who are more doing better in that regard, check out a channel called YLearn. And there's another channel called BizPath. I'm going to send some love their way because they have figured out they're much more business orientated people. Oh, thank you very much. I've been given some food from my wonderful fiancée, who's soon to be my wife as of next Saturday. You've had a phone call, you've got to go. No worries, Fresh Toast, thanks for joining. So it's that time of the stream where it's going to turn into a mukbang. Actually, I know a great way for this stream to go. Oh, thank you very much. We could play Contexto, guys. Would you guys want to play that? No, wait, I'm here now. I love YouTube. That's why my goal is to be like some of the YouTubers I grew up watching, I guess what you're saying. I'm exactly the same, man. I've watched YouTube for most of my life. And I wanted to make YouTube videos. And I want to keep making YouTube videos. If that's the reason why you're doing it, I think you'll go far. Because you have to really love wanting to make videos. if you want to do it long term. I've been on this platform for 17, 18 years at this point. Like I was saying earlier, my first 1,000 subscribers took me 10 years. And I think it's a story that's good because... What? Oh, I see what Fresh Toast is saying. That's a discussion you guys can have amongst yourselves. But yes, the fact that it took me 10 years, it took me 11 years to get to this point where we are today. This channel is 11 years old. I think it just shows you that commitment and just doing things over time trumps everything else. And if you really like it, you'll get there in the end. You just post some Nintendo videos because you have a passion for Nintendo. Mukbang time. Right, guys. I think it's I've got to press the right hotkey. Will this go full screen? There we go. I think it's time for us to play Contexto. While I have this mukbang. And I will explain what's going on. Once I get it on the screen. There we go. So, right. There is a word that we have to guess. And for every guess, it tells you how related it is to the word of the day. So, for instance, if I type in the word red, red is really related. You got to go, all right, check you later. I don't know why I said check you later. I mean, see you later. The word is red. Something is red about the word. So if you guys want to send me your guesses, send them in. We've been playing Contexto every stream. I think it's a nice way to... I just like Contexto. It's pretty fun. Has anyone got any guesses? I'll throw in another one. Blood. Oh, it's not blood. What could the word be? It's something that's red. Yeah, I can't believe how close we got just off the first guess. Ketchup. Nope, not ketchup. Colour. Colour is up there. Berry. Fruit. Hey man, thanks for your videos. Greetings from Ukraine. Thanks for joining today. Oh, apple. I missed that one. Apple. So it's just colour and red so far. We're up there. Colour is more related than red. I'm going to throw in the word orange. We got green. Pixel. Light. Yellow. Purple. Oh. I want to type in the word laser. Okay, no. Pigmentation. Rainbow. Oh, we had double rainbow. We had a double rainbow in chat. I'm going to fart, guys. Ooh. That felt good. I don't even know if that came through on the mic. All we type is colours. Well, colour is up there. Paint. Brat. I know. Brat, brat. It's just one of my unique talents. A palette. I can't spell palette. Right, and that's not the kind of palette we're talking about, is it? Fish. Lort. I'm going to switch it to Lord. Because we're mukbanging. Let me type in mukbang. What? Is it like that? Or maybe it's not even a real word. Food. What food is that? It's a stroganoff. Mr. Dear Jeremy. Jeremy is a fine name, by the way. Waves and art. Oftentimes when someone asks me to name something, the name Jeremy comes into my head far too many times. You gotta get going. You're making a few videos. One was about being in a bad friends group. No worries. Hope the video goes well. Painting. Emotion. Emotional damage. Oh no. Oh no. We're mukbanging so hard today, guys. Creature. It's a creature feature. Insect. Oh, the word's coming in thick and fast. Tree. What an exciting time to be alive. Feather. As light as a feather. Flower. Flower. I was coming up with a funny idea today. And it was the funny thing about growing the stream is the side goal is to be how many people can I trick into watching me eat food on stream? And that was making me laugh. So that's one of my side goals. Because think about it. That's right, I'm using my t-shirt to wipe my face. I'm eating and I'm farting. As in I'm farting right now. There's 26 of you watching across Twitch and YouTube. When's the last time 26 people watched you eating? How funny is that? There's something funny about that. People watching you eat. Sniff. Sniff. Screen. Screen. Multicolour. So I've got to type with I don't know that word. How can you not know what multicolour is? Okay, hang on. Spectrum. You want to eat food too? Well, if you do, turn on your stream. TV. So people can watch you eat. I like how I just see the numbers of viewers dropping off now. They're like, what? He's eating? I don't want this. Sign. I thought he was going to play Call of Duty, not fart and eat on the stream. You're kind of watching. Yeah, to be fair, there's a whole thing. How can it, if a streamer is your most streamers are your second monitor streamers, and it's only a unique privilege to be a main screen streamer. I'm nowhere near that. Just Arse said, hi, I saw you were playing Black and White the other day. There is music missing in your game. There was music missing, you're right. It felt very empty when I was streaming that yesterday. And I have a friend who played it. He was the one who told me to, or suggested that I play it. And he told me that the music was missing as well. So not phone. Did I try? Yeah, we got monitor, print. We're way up there. Oh, print is high as well. We've got screen and print. And we're back to 21 viewers on YouTube. I've got a message for you new guys. I'm going to do another fart. There you go. From the man who scripts videos to the live streaming farty mukbanger. Print screen. He doesn't know what a print screen is. It's because we're relaxing. We've played COD. We've talked about serious things. We've popped our shoulders around. And now we're letting off some gas. I was going to say let off some steam, but... Screen is 11th, guys. We're almost there. Newspaper. Article. Actually, I've got a question for you. Have you ever been watching a streamer? You can't include me because I've just done it. And they farted live on stream. Because I've never seen that. I mostly watch it on YouTube, but I've never seen a highlight clip of, like, say, Asmongold farting or anything like that. Or, Joe, who's the guy that you watch? Markiplier. You've never heard Markiplier doing a fart, have you? Phone. Phone was already there. Yeah, you're right. Kaleidoscope. XQC. What? There's a clip of XQC farting, is there? Perhaps I should react to that. Top streamers farting. That does kind of change the whole vibe of the channel, doesn't it? You go from me talking about like feeling like I had no purpose to fart react video. Image. Oh, image is up there. Picture. Well, there you go. I've supplied you with a first. I've never watched / listened to a streamer farting or eating. Oh, man. This channel can take any direction. I could be really serious, or I could be doing this. You saw someone fall asleep on stream and let out a fart. Oh. Photograph. I couldn't imagine streaming myself fall asleep. That's like a whole nother level. Oh, this is another comment I wanted to read. It says, "Nice try, China." And then the automatic responses from YouTube, I could say, "I tried," or "Thanks for the view." Why would they comment, "Nice try, China"? They think I'm like a propagandist or something. Camera. It wasn't camera. Did I try video? I'll be honest, guys, if you do have a compilation of streamers doing those sort of things, link it in the Discord and I'll react to it because it was going to make me laugh. It was probably a bot. Yeah, that makes sense because that's a really weird comment. Sorry, I missed your other message. You're saying Charlie farts. Is that Moist Critical, Charlie? It's totally not related with the papers and the polygraphy. Polygraphy. LCD. Doesn't know that. Oh yeah, I've heard Charlie burp. I can't make myself burp on command. I'm the kind of person that I have to wait for the gas to go through and then... So you've heard. Display, that was a good one, Pixel. Mr. Pixel. Film. Sorry, Joe. Nowhere near. Press. Oh. We will try the word movie. But press. Quiet Machine 95 with a press. That was impressive. I feel like I should put on some like lift music. I knew a female streamer that used to cut the cheese but stopped because people would clip it for fetish. And she is literally cutting cheese, right? You're not using cheese as a word for something else. Well, if you guys want to cut this for a fetish, I'll go ahead. I don't think anyone wants to, though. Oh, fart. Hello, Bruno. I'm doing well. How are you doing? I don't know, cut... What? Joe? Button? The word was button. Wait, was remote on there? How is button even I don't know. I don't know how button is the related word. Can I see the closest word? So it's toggle, click, tab, icon, scroll. So if we was thinking of like a user interface, none of us were on that. We were thinking about the display itself. Yeah, what a weird word. This game doesn't make any sense. I think Joe cheated, if you ask me. I think she cheated saying the word button in chat. Didn't you? I promise this mukbang is almost over. I've almost finished. It's been a lovely mukbang today. I know something else. Someone else that's got something to say at the end of this mukbang. Maybe one day I'll have my own controversy video. Streamer farts on stream and causes uproar. This game is related to be random game. I should start my own breakfast. It's 9:47 here. You got start your own mukbang, my friend. You can read between the lines. Wow, that is rude. Right, see you later, Ben. Cheers for watching. Done. Oh, sort of. Now I've got to take the old pills. I can't believe how rude Joe was to me there. Very rude. There's only so long I can... Yeah, I love talking serious. But then once we've talked serious, I think that encourages me to be extra silly. It's like I go from one way to the other. So we've had our serious bit and then we get into the sillies. And that's probably why all the farts and the mukbangs happen. Because we can't be serious all the time. I did have this idea for some content before where I would just talk about inane nonsense every Friday. I can't remember what I was going to call it now. Nonsense Fridays. And here comes the cheater herself.
I didn't cheat, actually. Just because you're not good at it.
You did cheat.
You didn't cheat. I've always been good at that game. And you've always been bad at that game. Haven't you?
No, sometimes I get the word. I started off strong. I said red.
Yeah, but you didn't get it though, did you? I did.
Hey, I can't believe this. I can't believe what's going on here. Shocking behaviour, I must say. But yeah, I had this idea for a show called Nonsense Fridays because the week's already serious enough. And then I would read out random stories. That's where YouTube is a bit weird, because then I think, would my audience even like that? Like, does it change the algorithm? I don't know. It's a bit of a confusing world to navigate making content, I must say. Because on one hand you think, if I make this random Nonsense Fridays thing, will YouTube then try and find the audience for that? And then it messes up trying to find the audience that... The other videos of people like those, I don't know. I think that's why a lot of creators come from places where they will main one thing for a long time. Say, prime example, just because it's a person that I've watched a lot, is Asmongold. I don't know if most of you know him. Probably some of you have heard of him. He's a very large streamer. You could say one of the biggest streamers. But it wasn't always that way, but he came from playing one game. He played World of Warcraft, and he knew lots about that game. And that was sort of like, at that time, that's what he was known for, was knowing lots about the game. Making guides for the game. And then over time, he branched out, and now he could pretty much talk about whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And... That's been gold. I thought I was watching him now. And the cat picture, Simon. The cat picture is right here because in my haste, it was a couple of days ago now, I accidentally elbowed the picture frame off the wall and it smashed all over the floor. So now I have the picture in my hands. Wasn't he also known for having a dirty, unkempt room? Yes, but that fame came later. Once people discovered who he was through his relentless, through his... Why do I use the word relentless? Through his streams of Warcraft. So I'm thinking, what? I don't know. Is there lessons to be learnt from that? Focus on one area for a long time and then that gives you the freedom to do whatever you want? I don't know. I'm trying to navigate this in my own way. But it is a confusing thing. Maybe the secret's to have a terribly dirty room. I'm on my way there. But he's just one creator that comes to mind. What creators do you guys watch? And did they start from a niche beginning? And are they still in a niche way? XQC has that problem too and has maids to clean up his room. So basically you're saying, have a dirty room. To be fair, if you had the money, would you hire a maid too? If I had the money, I think one of the first things I'd want to do is hire a chef that makes optimized nutritional meals that I love for breakfast, lunch, dinner. But then what? I don't know. That would be cool, actually. Then I wouldn't have to choose what to eat. If you guys had unlimited money, what would you get? Or maybe not unlimited. If you just woke up and you'd won the lottery. It must be related to ADHD somehow, which every streamer seems to have. It does seem that way, doesn't it? When it comes down to it, you see a lot of people uploading videos saying, I have ADHD. Was it Jacksepticeye, Pyrocynical? Who else? Does XQC? I mean, my room used to be a complete tip. My desk is quite... I mean, there is stuff here, but it's pretty clean for my desk. Usually there's a lot more stuff. One of my friends' houses, there was stuff everywhere. It's like a sea of stuff. Clothes. Like, I don't know, everything. Like tech, clothes, emergency food, just all over the floor. Have a dirty room, let people see it. People rip you a new one online, which gives you more views equals profit. I guess that depends how dirty the room is. Is ADHD a requirement for streaming? I guess it is. You'll have to put it on the CV. You don't need a CV to start streaming. I don't know why I even said that. Maybe it's a superpower. If you have ADHD, get a microphone in front of you and start talking. Markiplier, does he have ADHD? Does he actually? Hello, Alex. How you doing? If you've got ADHD, get a microphone on. You might perform well. Who knows? I was thinking it'd be good to do a stream where I explore all those old Flash games. We were talking about this the other day, like Yeti Sports, or there used to be one I would play called like Waffle Man, I think. I wonder if that website I used to use still exists. No. It was called 123spill.no. What about Miniclip? Does that still exist? This doesn't look like the website I used to play. No. This is gone. This isn't Miniclip. Oh, what's some... There's a website students use at school called Crazy Games or something. This looks like the new Miniclip. I can't believe Miniclip's gone. That's so sad. We didn't want to get sad. Yeah, look, there's this website here. crazygames.com. I see a lot of students playing on this. I guess they're kind of gone because Roblox exists now. I see so many students playing Roblox on the browser. What's the point? Polytrack? I'm sure I saw a video about this on YouTube. Let's just go straight into it. Oh, wow. Huh? Oh. Oh, okay, you press down to brake. It's just like Trackmania. Yeah, there's a guy I watch on YouTube called Virtual. Oops, I was looking at the screen. And I swear I saw this pop up. I think he uploaded it for April Fools. Have any of you guys heard of Virtual? Summer 1. See, what an amazing Flash game. This is a browser-based game. This is so much better than what I used to play. Uh-oh. Right, enough of that game. It's crap. This would have destroyed. I just want to see if... I remember one of the first Flash games I ever played was the Gorillaz game. Final Drive. Oh, it's just a wiki. Yeah, it was this. It was literally the bridge from... There's a music video by the Gorillaz. It's just a Jeep driving across a bridge. This doesn't look like it either. Miniplay? Miniplay.com. This looks like a great way to get a virus. Let's click play. We can't load this Unity web game. Well, you can see there's like the truck there, or Jeep, or whatever you want to call it. And then you just drive down a bridge. That was it. That was the Flash game. Or Waffle Boy Flash game. You can play Diablo 1 as a web game. I have to check that out quickly. Oh, Diablo 1 web browser game. Diablo 1 is now fully playable inside your browser. Was there a link? It takes you to an article. When you purchase through our links, we may earn affiliate commission. Wow. Exactly what I was looking for. Diablo 2 Resurrected. I'm just looking for a link. Boot up this timeless classic right here by heading to this link. This is a web port of the original Diablo game. The project page can be found here. If you own the original game, you can drop the Diablo bat here. Oh, so it wants you to make sure that you have it. Or is it just going to let me do it? Do you know, I think I do actually own Diablo 1 as well. Classic. This is pretty cool. This is playing on my browser. Let's go Warrior. Got the old Tristram music. Wow, look at this. It's just running on a browser. That's the blacksmith, Griswold.
Well, what can I do for you?
What can I do for you? That's what dwarves sound like. Let's head to the dungeon. I still remember where the entrance is. Can you run? Or can you not run in this game? There's no controls. This is pretty amazing just to have this as a Flash game. Here's the dungeon. Got the ominous light coming from it. I used to find this game terrifying when I was a kid.
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
It's been fouled. The sanctity of this place has been fouled. For I'm a warrior. Yeah, the butcher was terrifying. Oh, here they come. You get the map? Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is crazy that this is just a Flash game. What the hell? Have you played RuneScape? I have. I actually lost my account on RuneScape. I put a Google Authenticator on my account on my old phone, and for a long time it worked. I'd have to occasionally load up my old phone. And then the other day, I think like a month ago, I was like, I want to log into RuneScape because I want to include it in a script. And I wanted to record some gameplay. And it was like, please use your authenticator to log in. And I had now linked it up through my Steam. So I go and find my old phone, I load it up, I open the authenticating app, and it's signed out, it's not connected to anything. And I don't know the login details of the authenticator app. So what am I to do? I can't I can't log in, I can't get my authenticator open, so I just uninstalled the game. And that's the account I've had since I was in year 7 of school. So the first year of high school. It's gone. That's like an 18-year-old. It sounds a bit too loud, hard to listen. Okay, I'm going to quit that then. Yeah, sorry about that. I was too overwhelmed by the fact Diablo exists on the browser. But yeah, I lost my authenticator, so I can't log into my account. So my RuneScape account is now dead. It's an 18-year-old account. How old am I? How old would you say I am? and throw the question back at you. How old do you think I am? I'm curious. I'll try and look as old as possible. You lost your old school RuneScape account too, 35. Well, if you've guessed, there's a 12-second delay on the stream, so I'm going to give you a second to guess, and I'm actually 32. See how close you got. But yeah, so I think that today has been a fantastic day, and I think that you're all going to have a fantastic day too. Fantastic evening, wherever you are, it's going to be fantastic. And I'm going to be ending this stream as of now, because I think that it's been a good stream. I've covered the things I wanted to cover. We had some good discussions, but I want to go and have a bath now. I want to go and lie down in some hot scalding water and repent. I just like having hot baths. So I do plan on streaming tomorrow. It might be a little bit later because I've got to go to hospital tomorrow. They're going to put medications into my veins for my IBD. So I've got to have that, and then I've got a meeting about some videos that I'm creating. So I have to come and do that, and then hopefully I can hop on stream. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out tomorrow. Maybe if you want to join the Discord, if you're listening on YouTube. Oh, and there's on Twitch as well now. The link to the Discord is right there in the description for the YouTube, or down below where all the links are on Twitch. So the Discord's there. Maybe let me know if you want me to check out any games. But today's been fun. And yeah, I wish you all the best, and I'll see you guys on the next stream. Thanks for listening, no matter where you are.